Okay, right on. Well, thanks, gentlemen, who are here so far. This is our intro open mic. I think people are just going to be popping in, and hopefully, folks just stay on mute. And this is an open conversation. We're just going to circle around, and people can just kind of talk and maybe talk about yourself. I'll probably set like a little timer, maybe, just so we don't have anything run too far on. And the point is that it's recorded, so people can kind of watch this later and get to know you guys, right? And whoever's here, and more people will join, and I'll repeat that splurb. But how about Spencer? I know you might have to take off earlier. Do you want to kick it off and
Sure.
maybe tell the community about yourself and why you're excited about anything, Eden, EOS, anything related?
Yeah, let's do it real quick. And I got about 15 minutes before I got to run. Spencer Hansen, I am an Eden member. I'm really looking forward to networking with people in this growing community. And that's why I'm here at this open mic. Plan to be here every week going forward to accelerate the growth of the community with great members as quickly as possible, to get to know people. And I got friends that I could invite, to Eden. Like, hey, here, I've actually already handed out the book, More Equal Animals, to people that I thought would be interested in it, that are pretty philosophically inclined. But I would much rather prioritize invites toward people right now that have been following Eden or following EOS since Genesis and have been interested in Eden already. So that's why I'm excited to do these open mics and just be here every week to help the community grow quickly with people that are already interested. So mechanical engineering is my background. Got into Bitcoin, was reading through the Bitcoin talk forums, and I liked what Dan Larimer was saying, this Bytemaster dude. So I started following what he was doing and saw his presentations early on during the token sale of EOS. Got me excited about the basically secure database infrastructure that is EOS, and caught the vision for that. Excited to see what the community directs funding towards. I think that this is going to change the world. Has all of the ingredients to do so. People are hungry, starving for consensus. We couldn't even agree on who president of the United States was this last election cycle. So people are hungry for consensus algorithms that work. And I think they're going to be drawn towards solutions like this. I'm very excited about it.
Right on. Thank you, Spencer. Happy to have you as part of the Eden community. Let's go. Oh,
hey, Chris, real
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, folks. This is Dominic here. Excited to get this going. Chris and I talked about different ways last week that we could get people more involved and grow the membership. But importantly, this particular event for me is something that I've been working hard on, and that I don't want to see Eden become this sort of insiders network. I think that's exactly what we're trying to kind of, build against here. It's about engagement and people who share values, not necessarily who you know, right? But what you believe and that you're willing to contribute. So spread the word, especially to anybody who is really excited about Eden but doesn't know anybody and doesn't have an invite, because this is a way that we can get to know folks and extend invites in a way that's in accordance with the Eden core values, right? Which is that, we're not just bringing in anybody random. We want to bring in people that we trust and also, again, share the values, because this is one of the best. It's the best, and it's one of the few ways that we can actually reduce scamming and that sort of behavior. Because if we stack the membership and it's just about growth and it's just about as many people as possible, we open the door to people just kind of stuffing the membership base with lots and lots of folks who will help them try to rig elections or different stuff like that. I mean, the randomization and all that's great, but as you can imagine, if we have an election and there's 500 of us and 150 of those members maybe are all kind of colluding, you still have a pretty good chance of getting a fair amount of people into the various breakout groups. And that would really, hurt what we're trying to build here. So, thank you for your time and effort and energy. And I kind of have to sign off with some technical difficulties, but appreciate y'all being here.
Right on. Thanks, Dominic.
Thanks.
We'll do our best. How about Erical? Eric, you ready to say a few things? You're next on my screen here.
Herakle, which is it means Hercules in Georgian. My passport name is Eric, or Erika, or however they call me here. I live in Tbilisi, Georgia. I grew up in Panama, world citizen. Came across EOS in 2018. My friend was starting up one of the local ICOs that was being built here, and basically invested in about 4 or 5 things, diversified some money, and ended up with EOS. And I was considering selling it, and I noticed that Voice was getting started. I didn't really follow much into the crypto space at that point. Jumped on Voice, and thanks to the Crypto Writer guys, thanks Brandon and others, stepped into a whole nother world of interesting stuff. And I'm running a small chain of pizza shops here, and looking at this governance, the governance that's being put forward. It's very interesting, actually, from a business owner's perspective on how to build something that could go beyond 3 generations. So building a resilient, anti-fragile approach to governance within a values-based business that we've started here. So I'm thinking about how to incorporate some of these ideas into what we're doing. But I'm super happy to be here. I put out my information today, actually, on the channel, so someone can invite me in if you guys feel so inclined. But I'm happy to be here, and I've doubled down, and then I doubled down, and then I tripled down, and then I quadrupled down. And when what's his name, Colin, chickened out, I just scooped up a bunch more, and I was like, this is amazing. So I'm happy to be here, doing well.
And that was before you really knew about Eden, probably, right?
So, well, that was before Dan. That was right when Dan left B1, but I was tracking with everything through the just kind of the Telegram, and also with some articles in Voice. And it just was too good to be true to have those dips like that. So we got a great chance there to buy in again, and then to see Dan come in and in a matter of weeks and months just start to build, and it hasn't stopped, and here we are, and it's quite exciting, and I feel like I'm part of history somehow. And I'm joining from the other side of the world. It's 2 a.m. here, so I was motivated to stay up and see you guys.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for staying up late. And I'm sure with that introduction, someone will likely vouch for you, and they may want to talk to you a little more. I think it's important, maybe a little one-on-one, get to know each other a little bit more over a video call. But that's awesome. Good to see you here. Thanks for speaking.
Cheers.
Joshua Seymour, you were here right away. Do you want to introduce yourself? And I'm really curious about what's in your background. I'm seeing a really cool pattern of something that's right behind your head.
Yeah, it's a sacred geometry design that was cut with a CNC machine. Basically, could only make one of them, and then I glued the other 6 around the one. First time I've created anything like that, but I came up with the design. I didn't come up with the core of the design. Well, like the main thing in the center I came up with, but what it's based on is a geometry that's kind of like the tree of life or the Kabbalah, but that's kind of like an incomplete symbol for some reason. It doesn't include all of the orbs of the body, which is basically a 12 orb system. And so it basically represents one human being, and I copied that into 2 around the time that I met my wife. And then I duplicated the two bodies and just adjusted them and came up with that design. So for me, it really represents family. And I'm into sacred geometry to some degree, but I'm really into the functional aspects of like energy systems and how that kind of stuff works. And it's intriguing how all these things are very much linked with quantum mechanics and neurology and consciousness and all that jazz. And organizational structures, like after I put this on the wall, I realized it has, I think, 192 circles or orbs on it. And that's about how many countries we have in the world. I was like, oh, that's pretty intriguing. We've got like a representation of the member states up there.
And then that's your EOS token price too then, right? That's what you're shooting for?
Yeah, I definitely think EOS is going to be valued, really high long term. Thanks for the opportunity to chat. I'm basically just here to kind of hear from everyone else, to be honest. Recently was inducted thanks to Spencer and Thomas and Mark. And thank you, gentlemen, for vouching for me, giving me a shot to join the club. I had to step away because my daughters, I could hear some of them screaming in the other room. But Dominic was talking about his perspective of what the club should be. And I'll have to go back and catch the recording because I had to step out right when he was talking about that, about it not being so much of an insider network. But I am fascinated a little bit about the private society kind of dynamic and how this might end up being a little bit different, but that does seem to be the power structure of the planet on every level. Every type of democratic consensus seems to have come from like a private society kind of thing. I don't really have a lot to say. If somebody wants to ask some specific questions, I'm really just here to sort of be a fly in the wall and get to know everyone else.
That's cool, man. No worries. I'll try to, if we get through everybody and no one else is joining, then I think whoever's left, then yeah, let's just talk amongst ourselves. But I'll try to run through everybody who's joined in the order they sort of appeared. So I think next I remember, Mark Shear, Mr. Earthman. I certainly know you, but a few words about yourself to who's here.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, cool. I guess getting together, kind of something I like. I like the idea. I think Chris Dom came up with a week or two ago. So it's cool to, like Eric Lee. I think that's the pronunciation. I just sent you. Said, hey, looking for an invite still. And I'm working with EOS Microloan and EOS Marketplace as just a user recently. So that's like a very powerful networking effect because I'm jumping the language barrier through a translation piece and I'm looking at you, Eric, and I'm like, hey, you need an invite, So I like that's a very swift, network effect is a very swift curve, a power curve. And that's what Dan Larimer says when he says this Eden idea it basically is theoretically very powerful in terms of its productivity potential. Well, we don't know, we'll see it, but the theory would say, yeah, I mean, it lines up with the power curve, which are like exponential curves, basically. So in the microloan or the marketplace and Ericla's case, it's like being able to work and do stuff that's very interesting, but without any kinetic energy or actually without any real action. It's more like a different kind of like way that the circuit works. So yeah, you just kind of participate and be able to really move through things without the internal stress. So the one thing that's interesting about markets and that cryptocurrency with ICO has said, let's create markets and let the market discover the price. Well, if we've all learned that, that's nice because that's my metaphor for the value that we will discover in the individual as we apply smart contract tools. Eden is the apex for something like that, but the original smart contract had the idea to discover one's value by turning actions into transactions. And it's a real mystery. How valuable are we? Because we would often say, oh, I'm not valuable. But when your token stack keeps going up and people say, wow, I just create stuff and people like what I do or something, you tend to discover in quantitative terms the value of these little subtle things all over. So I think that's what is at the center of this mystery, or what's interesting with what we're doing. And so very happy to be able to jump on something like this is a perfect candidate for that kind of thing. So I think that's probably a good idea to say hello. And
Very
greetings.
good. Well said, Mark. Thank you. All right, let's move. Who is next? I think Vince, EOS France. You and Patrick were tied, so but I'll give it to you next. Welcome.
Thanks, Chris. So I'm happy to be here. It's good idea to make this kind of call to present ourselves without having to sign for a membership right away. Pardon my accent. So I'm from France, as you can tell. It's midnight here, a bit late, but it's still okay for me. So I got into crypto last year, in January of last year. So blockchain is very new to me compared to many people here, and I got to EOS in mid 2020. A friend of mine got me into EOS. He's in since Genesis, and yeah, he made me discover all this ecosystem that in France there is almost no visibility for EOS in France. So no influencers or YouTubers talk about EOS, sadly. So it was almost the only way that I could discover EOS, and with it I discovered the power of blockchain, and also Dan Larimer. I read his book in English and found it amazing, and then I saw Eden coming out. So it's very good, a very good idea. I think it's as you tell, it's maybe the first community like this. Maybe we may be a part of history. Time will tell. But yeah, with COVID also, I discovered that our governance system all around the world is fully corrupted, and money rules everything. Even in crypto a bit in some aspects. But EOS is to me almost the best blockchain for democracy with Eden. So here I am, and with a friend of mine, with a few friends of mine, we are starting to we started a Telegram group for the French-speaking community. We are very dedicated to make EOS great again in France and other French-speaking communities. So we have a Twitter account, and we will make YouTube videos to help user onboarding and make tutorials in French. So I think it's very needed for the French community, and maybe in the future we'll see, but maybe get more involved into the ecosystem, and have also an Eden election in our community. Right now we are only 50 in the Telegram group, but we hope to be more in the future. So yeah, I think I will ask to be an Eden member in the future. I don't really know what to expect. I don't really know if I will have much time to give back. I don't know what really the expectations are. and I'm not very, I don't have a lot of technical skills. I don't think I will. So I attended the alpha test, the hidden alpha test on May, and was only there to vote, and I was just curious. It was very cool, and I'm also curious now to see what Eden will become, and I would gladly be part of it. So yeah, that's about me. Thanks for having me here, and yeah,
Awesome.
that's all.
Very good. Well, you're welcome to the group, Vince. And yeah, the commitment, you don't have to do much. Just show up for the elections when they happen, and you don't even need to want to move forward. Just have your voice heard and submit a vote, and that's contributing enough. So, there's no pressure there.
Yeah, I think it should be made a bit more clear that it's not so demanding, because as I see it right now, it can be a bit. People may be afraid to see. You have to. So you're not anonymous anymore. You have to give your identity, make an NFT, and also sign up, do a lot of things to get in. But maybe people have to realize that after that, it's not that demanding. As it was said before, to make us not just a small group of people, and be more than that.
We've got to grow somewhere, right? This is how it starts. This is the whole idea of grassroots.
Yeah, of course.
From here we grow. Well, thank you very much, Vince. Let's move over to Patrick Schmidt. You're next in. Say hello. I think most of us probably know Nova Crypto. I sure do.
Hello, everyone. I am very happy to be here. Yeah. So myself, I was inducted by Lovejoy, that is here. Hello, Brandon. And by Zach Gold, that is not here. And there was also Ray from GenROS that would chat for me. So that's very kind from you. Yeah, that's perfect. So myself, why I am here? A lot of reasons. First reason, when I was coming into the EOS ecosystem, it's because I was looking for something different, doing a lot of software engineering all these years, past years, traditional software engineering. And in 2016, I was trying to do platforms and only verticalized. There was no horizontalization. And when was coming EOS, the down in 2017, October, November 2017, I was hearing about EOS for the first time. And that was totally game-changing for me because Dan Larimer said code is intent. And when I was hearing that for the first time, that was wondering to hear code is intent, because in software programming, we try to do always our best. As a software engineer, we try always to code the best code that we can code, and to have the intent of the code with Ricardian contract, that was appealing to me. So that's for the technology side. And after that, I was seeing that it is not only technology, there is also education, educate the people, educate normal users that have no clue on what is a blockchain first, what is smart contract, all this stuff. And I evolved with EOS Nation. I joined EOS Nation in October 2018 to be an ambassador, to do education in Switzerland. I am based in Switzerland, but I want to do that for the entire world because now I do online workshops. So that's the perfect way to approach broader audience. But it's not about audience. I don't care to have 200 people in my Telegram. I don't care to have a lot of numbers. what is most important is to give a good information, good knowledge, and mistakes. We do always mistakes, so we can always improve. And for me, Eden, it's the perfect testifying of intent, because as you said, Vince, you say, yeah, now we have to give our photo, we are no more anonymous, we have an NFT, but I would say it's good. It's very good because the people cannot hide. They have to appear. They have to say what they say at this time. And it is recorded on the blockchain. This is immutable. It's frozen into the stone. What you said, that doesn't mean that you cannot maybe change to go to the left, to the right, but you know the road from A to Z, and during the road you can change. You can go to left, to right, but always to come back to the line and go to the point. So it's the perfect testifying of intent. And I love that because we can all say, we want to do this, we want to do that, and after we don't do. So it's very important to have a plan. I would say that should not be perfect. Just have a plan, a clear plan in mind, why we go in Eden. So now I have the pleasure to invite some other people that I will not unveil now, but I will have for my first induction that I will do the induction for three guests, and I have 2 witnesses. I have chosen my guests because they have some are not coder, as you said, Vince. They have no programming skills or software skills. They have other skills. They want to for example, one to attend to Eden, join Eden, because he wants to vote for the best representative in the group, and we have to be focused on our group. I don't care no, it's not true. I am very interested about the other groups, but you have to be focused on your group and your group of 10, because I have the right to invite until 10 people. So for the moment, I have invited 3. And the 7 others that I have to invite, maybe I will invite you, Vince, because you are in France, I am in Switzerland, you have a US nation. No, joke. No, because Vince is doing a great job. I have seen the Telegram, EOS FR for France. I have also my group for Switzerland, EOS Swiss Valley. That's the name, EOS Swiss Valley. I am also in touch with German DACH group with Martin Breuer. So it's all about synergy. I do my things, you do your things. Each of us, we do our things. We believe in our things, but at a point we can maybe join together and be stronger than just to be alone. And 1 + 1 = 3.
Exactly.
That's
1 + 1 = 3.
I can continue a long time. So for me, it's EOS. For me, it's the Everyone Open Society. So Eden, for me, is representing finally what I expected. I always said EOS is Everyone Open Society. EOS is Exponential Operating System. But exponential operating system, we know all that is an exponential operating system. It's about technology. But now about the societal layer, because there is not only the technological and economical layer, there is also the societal layer. And Eden is implementing what could be, for me, a true democracy, fractal democracy, and modelizing Everyone Open Society. For me, that's that. For someone else, it's a private society. Yeah, why not?
But hey, for me, Patrick, let's we got to keep moving because I know a lot of people here want to talk. But I'll come back. You got lots to say, and I think it's great, and we're certainly happy to have you here. And I like the Everyone Open Society. Interesting. Okay, Randall Rowland. I remember seeing your videos during the induction. I watched them all, and I was impressed with your presentation. So I think most people might know you here from those, but go ahead.
Yeah. Hello, Chris. How are you doing? Hello, everyone. So basically, I'm Randall Rowland. As you can see, my white coat is still here. I'm a doctor, physician, but I'm also into technology. I've been doing technology for quite some time. I actually got together with a group of guys and introduced cell phone, and we designed it. We went to China, we produced it, and I took it to Ghana. Unfortunately, there's a lot of processes involved. It's not that easy. So Steve Jobs did a great job, to be honest with you. But it's still something that I'm still working on, that someday, maybe, hopefully, we can be able to put blockchain on it and make it better. And who knows where we can take this. But basically, I've been following EOS since Genesis, 2017. That's when I purchased some EOS, and I've been following Dan Larimer since Steemit. Like I said before, when we were doing the Eden demo, normally I'm at the background. I don't say anything. I just read what everyone is saying until Dan left Block One and he was trying to come back. So I was like, okay, let me jump into Telegram and try and help as much as I can to, try and convince some people to slow down and to listen to what he has to say. So I was very excited about that. And now things have progressed very well. He has been able to at least, start developing great things, such as Eden, which I'm very, very hopeful that is going to shape how EOS blockchain is going to be. So we did the demo, and I was very happy about that too. I was with, I think it was Mark. I was with Mark, and I voted Mark, and Mark actually went into the group with Chris, and I think it was John. And eventually, we had Chris, who was representing the Eden community, which was great. So I'm just here. I don't know everyone yet, but I'm just still trying to get to know everyone. So eventually, hopefully, once I get to be invited into Eden, hopefully I can be able to, also help as much as I can to break down things. I know how to break down things. So something that I'm very good at, to break down things, to let people understand that you don't have to be a developer. You don't have to be a rocket science scientist to be able to understand what we are trying to do. Sometimes somebody has to break it down for the regular layman person so they can understand things. And eventually for me to also bring some of these things to Ghana and eventually to Africa. That's also something that is very important to me, because actually in the developing world, they need blockchain technology more than anything else. And I keep saying that over and over. And that's why Venezuela is doing so well, because if your inflation is 28, I think it's 28,000%, you know that you cannot use your currency. At that point, you have to find something else, whether it's Bitcoin, EOS, or something, right? So I believe in this. But I want to add one more thing before someone else can also continue and introduce themselves. In that I think with Eden, one thing that I never really understood was, if we are Eden on EOS, how are we going to proceed? How are we going to move forward? Because I was thinking, okay, if we are going to be representing the EOS community, then I think the EOS community has to choose the reps, right? By doing like elections, playoff elections, and eventually those members that we have chosen, they will compete in the group. And then eventually we can be able to now represent the EOS community. But I think now I'm starting to understand that Dan has Eden basically as a separate kind of like entity with a group of guys who are basically raising, and that's why we're having a problem, right? We're having a problem because we are raising money, right, amongst ourselves, but then we are going to be using the money to build technologies, independent technologies to help others, right? And that technology might benefit the whole EOS community. So then you start thinking about it. Well, isn't that going to help everyone in the EOS community? So they are supposed to also be helping us, right? So today, actually, I thought about it over and over. And I was like, oh, okay, I think I get what Dan is trying to do. Basically, Eden is an independent entity. We raise money, then we go to EOS, which is a currency, because we need a currency, right? So we go to that currency and we talk to the block producers that, hey, we can be able to govern that network, right? And we can make the currency available, right? And by doing that, they will, in essence, give us money. And then now we have the reps who are going to be using the currency. I mean, I would say representatives using the money that the block producers have given us to fund for projects, and it helps everyone who's holding the currency, pretty much. So today it made sense to me. So I was like, okay, I think now that it makes sense to me, maybe, I don't know, I have to talk to everyone and see where they stand and what they think, to see if that's the narrative, because we have to get a good narrative and try to push that narrative so that we can be able to get everyone to understand. Because if I didn't understand in the beginning, trust me, a lot of people don't understand it, right? So I was like, all right, I think today made sense to me a little bit, but I have to get in touch with everyone to see where everyone is and if I'm actually on the right path or not. And then we have to formulate like a narrative and try to push that narrative in the Telegram groups and also moving forward so that everyone knows what Eden is, what it stands for, and how we are raising money and how the money is supposed to help a currency. And the currency of choice is EOS. And all of us, we have EOS. So if we have, I would say, projects that we are working on, which is helping the EOS currency, then it helps everyone else. And so that's something that I wanted to, add, and also basically for us to also talk about, So
That's awesome. Thanks, Randall. I think, yeah, you've raised some really good points. I know one thing that I've sort of been thinking about is sort of Eden is like its own separate thing. It's like the process itself, right? Which you could apply to pick your organizational structure that has leadership. And then we're doing Eden on EOS. So we're taking that process that's in Dan's book and we're applying it to the EOS community. So in this case, our goal is, that is sort of the stated mission, right? That we're coming together under the banner of EOS, using the Eden process to select representatives that then take community funds and spend it on behalf of the community, which should enrich the community, in this case, the EOS community. But yeah, lots of applications for sure. And so for the other gentlemen, if I don't see your video on, I'm going to assume you might be away and I won't call on you to speak. I think part of this is sort of emulating what would be the actual election, in which case your video would have to be on. So I won't call on anybody to speak unless I can see you. So Brandon Lovejoy, Ray, I see Ray just came in, but Brandon was here first. Do you want to say a few words, Brandon?
Yeah, sure. Hey, everybody. My name is Brandon Lovejoy. I pretty much just go by Lovejoy everywhere because it's easier to remember. Wow, super cool to see everybody here today. I guess I got involved back in the early days of BitShares and became pretty fascinated by a lot of the ideas that Dan was talking about in the early days of the BitShares talk forums, and that was just a whole world unto itself. And then, yeah, moved on to SteamIt and ended up doing the Steam peer-to-peer tour where we went out to Virginia, my friend Roadscape and I, and interviewed Larimer. That video is actually online somewhere. It's kind of obscure, but it's a fun little video. We interviewed the dev team of BitShares and everything. Yeah.
What would that be called? If I look for that, how do I
You
find
should
it?
post that, Brandon. You should post that somewhere.
Yeah, it's
dig it
it's
out.
on YouTube.
Find it for us. That'd be fun.
It's on the Crypto Fresh channel, which was the name of our
Crypto Fresh.
Yeah.
Nice.
I registered CryptoFresh.com many years ago, and it became a what's the word I'm looking for? Not a browser, but a block explorer for BitShares. Anyway, yeah, I'll share the link with you guys at some point. It's a good trip down memory lane. And there's some good Dan Larimer interviews that we pulled out from that too that isn't in the footage from the documentary, and that's even really cool too, because you see how consistent Dan has been for all these years talking about what he's, you go back and watch that and it's very relevant to what we're doing now from 6 years ago. So yeah, I just been down the rabbit hole, and of course that led to EOS, and I was director of communications for EOS Detroit, which was a Genesis block producer. And then I made it like midway through the crypto polar bear market of doom, and I had to bail and go do something else to preserve my mental sanity. So I went and hung out in the mountains for a while. Then I came back and just been kind of getting into it was really Dan's book that kind of brought back my excitement, and the idea of Eden and the fractal democracy really reconciles something that I've been trying to reconcile for, I feel like, my whole adult life, since I was a plucky young anarchist kid trying to make some change in the world. I was dealing with all these, in the anarchist scene, as everyone's super into horizontal consensus processes, and it's just I'm just gonna curse because I don't really care. It is a total clusterfuck, no one can agree what to do when, and it's just like a mess, So I knew there was some other way to use consensus, and also the best parts of what a hierarchy is, which is very efficient. And I worked on ships for many years, so I was very familiar with the order of, the structure of a command on a ship. If there's something that needs doing, you just have to listen to the most knowledgeable person who's ranked above you and just do it fast, and don't ask too many questions, because you might die. And so I'd kind of been exposed to both of those frameworks and understood their relative strengths and weaknesses. Consensus is great because it pulls in about a bunch of information that you don't get from a more rigid structure. And so, yeah, when I read Dan's book, which he was teasing for a long time, I was kind of like, aha, I think he's cracked the code. This is a great merging of these two worlds of consensus and hierarchy together. It leverages wisdom of the crowd, but it doesn't fall prey to this sort of directionless. One of my favorite phrases I've ever heard is the tyranny of structurelessness, which often befalls these, or which really befell EOS prior to this, because no one knew who was in charge, and it was just a bunch of cats running around, and then meanwhile the exchanges and the BPs that were willing to play those other games ran away with the show. So now we're back, and happy to be here, and very excited to see all the enthusiasm in the community, and feel like we might actually have a shot to do something pretty awesome here. So yeah, thanks for showing up. That's about the extent of what I have to say for the moment. So good to see you all.
We'll have a little more structure to these calls, so it'll be less tyrannical. Ray Schilling, you're up next.
Yes. Apologize. I had my video off. I had a lot of stuff going on. I was running around, but I was listening the whole time because I do value everything that's being said. So, my name is Ray Schilling. That is a noun, not a verb. My name is actually Schilling. I'm not shilling anything to you. That was my name given at birth. So it's based on the British coin. I was born in London. And my family is both Canadian and British. And also now, of course, I live in California with my wife and 2 kids. So real quick, I'll give you the 60-second snapshot. I went to UC Berkeley, got an engineering degree, so I'm a complete geek and nerd. Everything tech I get into, I'm excited about. Let's see, I worked as a consulting engineer for about 6 years, then moved into the software space, did some startups, did software and hardware startups, had some successes, some failures. Back in about 2009, got into renewable energy. And I've been in the renewable energy space and sustainable transportation now for about, 11, 12 years. In 2017, I tried to take that energy knowledge into blockchain, what we call energy blockchain. And I first started out in Ethereum. Yes, the evil ETH word. I'll use the E word. And that's where most of the work was being done, and to this day is still being done. However, as you all very well know in this group, Ethereum is not ideal for what we needed. In IoT, Internet of Things, we need high TPS, low transaction cost, high performance, and quick block validation verification. And we need basically, if you're going to be selling kilowatt hours of electricity that cost 8 cents each, you can't have an 8-cent transaction fee to go along with it. So Ethereum doesn't really work right now. It may work in 2.0, but not today. So in 2018, I saw some of the EOS stuff and ended up going to the San Francisco Hackathon. So I went to the SF Hackathon in 2018, met Dan briefly and Brendan, and got kind of excited in that. And since then, so I started actually buying some EOS tokens as well. Along with all of you, I suffered tremendously over the lean years, the last couple of years. Very excited to see our price start to recover and our ecosystem improve again. And so I'm back here, and I joined the Eden team. I've actually done some development work for the team. I built both eoscommunity.org and edeneos.org. Those are both my designs and implementations. And I should say that was I obviously had those many of us who collaborated on that, but it was my structural design and I built them. So I'm a web developer as well as a graphic designer. I do 2D, 3D animation as a hobby. So I'm sort of left brain, right brain in that sense. And I'm excited to be part of Eden. I was fortunate because I'd done a lot of work for Dan and the team. He invited me to join the first 21, so as part of the Genesis group there, and so excited to see everything growing and building. And congratulations, by the way, Chris. I haven't fully congratulated you on your first win in the community. I think that's fantastic. And congratulations to you on that. And with that, I'll stop talking so I don't keep going
Perfect.
on.
well, thank you, Ray. It'll be my first and only win because I think the system's designed so people don't win twice. So I'll enjoy my moment while I have it.
No, that's not true. Come on. We're going to vote for you. If
at
you're in
least
my
you got-
group, I'll vote for you again.
You got more than 15 minutes out of it, so that's something.
This is true. This call at least is 2 hours, so I'm already overstaying my welcome. Anybody new who's joined, just so you know, if your camera's off, so Max Conan, Vincent Grenier, Mel, Rick's iPhone, I won't call on you to speak until you turn your camera on. So yeah, but right on. Well, we can go full circle. Anybody who's been paying attention, do you have any questions for anybody else who's spoken so far? You can feel free to jump in and direct a one-on-one if you want. If not, I'll steer. All right, we're gonna go back to Ericla then. So because it's very late for you. You're going on to what, 2:30 in the morning here, almost 3.
Man, it's going on 3. Yeah. I need to sign off in a few minutes. So.
Any
nice
final words? Yeah, go ahead.
It's just nice to be hanging out with you guys and get a broader perspective on who you guys are, and it's nice to be part of the family, so to speak. And even though I'm geographically maybe far close to the Europeans here, but we're we get on Twitter and on Telegram, and it can be quite impersonal sometimes, and yet with the AMAs starting and the fireside chat stuff, there's a completely different energy that's happening, and that's quite exciting. And yeah, just glad to be part of that, and looking forward to being really a part of it. So thanks, Earthman.
Right on.
Setting that up.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, were you, did you see the Georgian like language dialogue on EOS recently, like yesterday or the day before or whatever it was? There was a Georgian language being used back and forth, and we were using the EOS
That was
translation.
me, yeah.
Okay, yeah, exactly. It was, and then there was a question of which language it was, and
I saw some Korean going back and forth, and I thought, well, let me try a little bit of Georgian, and sure enough, you guys jumped on it. So that's pretty amazing, actually.
Is that your first language?
No, I grew up in the Darien Gap between Panama and Colombia. So I grew up in English and Won Mill. And then
You're truly a man of the world, then. You're.
He's not only a man of the world, he's a miracle to have survived growing up in the Darien Gap.
No, it's not that dangerous. Beautiful place in the north.
Legendary. It's
I speak
supposed to be
Georgian
very
now. Not fluent. Maybe I am fluent. I'm definitely conversational. So started a business here in 2009, moved here in 2007, got 3 boys. One of them just graduated from UC Berkeley, so happy to have him come out of there as an engineer. And the other one just got inducted into UCLA. Samuel Lee, I think, as also an engineer. And our second child's struggling with mental illness, and it's really tough. So there's, in the life of things, ups and downs, and it's interesting to follow the story of EOS too from a personal perspective, because Dan actually reached out to me on Voice when I posted something, and I was like, oh wow, it's like talking to the rock stars, and just to get a personal kind of insight into the brain behind what I've come to understand and believe in and invest in. And it was just an investment at one point, but to think about it actually being something useful for the value-based business that we started, that could change lives, change a lot of lives, and that's kind of exciting. So maybe at some point I'll start a Georgian guild here and get it up to 10,000.
Oh, Mike's at Juliet's house with the police.
Got to start somewhere.
Or he's gonna.
Rick's iPhone.
Get her laptop
That's
back.
exciting.
Talk to us.
That's exciting.
I need to say goodbye, so it's lovely to talk, and we'll catch up again.
Yeah. Yes. We'll see you at your induction.
Cheers.
All right. Take care. Bye bye.
Some of the Vincent Mel apologist and Rick, you guys still there? Just chat or open your video up there, and you can get a chance.
Hey, Chris, can I ask real quick? Are you doing these every week? Is it once a week?
The plan is so we'll do these on Monday. Thursday, Dominic and I are going to do like a sort of the similar type of podcast thing, and then have a couple guests on from the community, just random folks like you guys. We'll have you on and do some pointed get to know each other type of thing. And then Saturday, I'll do similar to this, but it'll be maybe more focused. I'll do a particular topic, maybe do education, but same thing. So 3 times a week, we're going to try to do this type of thing to get as many people in different time zones as we can, and and we'll try to roll it right till the next mock election in July. July 17th is the next mock, so we'll try to keep this going to build up some momentum and keep the number. Like I think what Mark just did here, and to help get Eric signed up, that's perfect, right? Someone's here, they're not a member yet. You listen to them, they seem cool. Okay, great. If you feel comfortable, then now we've made a contact to be able to invite somebody. So.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That was entirely my fault. I actually invited him originally, and then the two people that were going to help me validate him said, "Oh, we want to meet him by phone." And then it turned out he was like 12 hours away in time or whatever it was. So I never got it organized. Completely my fault. I apologize. So I didn't pull it off. But now Mark's got that jumped on that. So that's good. Oh, and I got to jump. I've got a 4 o'clock out here in California. So I've got to go. But I really I'm going to get on these again. This is fun. So thank you for doing that,
Hey,
Chris.
Ray,
Yeah.
before you go, 10 seconds. I love the 2 sites that you said that you were involved
Yeah.
in. I mean,
Thank
the
you.
Eden EOS, Eden EOS, and EOScommunity.org are really great, and I really look forward to talking to you a little bit.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. And I'll see everybody next time. Thank you so much.
Thanks for
Later,
coming,
Ray.
Ray.
All right. Bye-bye.
Mel, you've been chatting, Mel, but you don't want to turn your video on. Are you shy to speak?
Mel's in his pajamas.
Yeah, it's okay. Just head up.
Yeah,
You'll be wearing
I'm
underwear.
here, mate. I'm off to bed in a minute, so
Oh,
I
okay.
was listening in. Obviously quite late here in the UK, but yeah, just obviously this is quite new and good to listen in, and I'll definitely chat on the next one.
No problem at all. Glad you can make it, Mel.
Yes.
Oh, got someone new. Simon. Any other fellows that you guys are on? Joshua, Randall, Patrick, you guys, any questions you want to ask or?
I want to throw one thing out. I took a preemptive step and created a club on Clubhouse. I have a love-hate relationship with that platform at the moment. I'm intrigued by it, but I'm not sure if it would be appropriate for what we're going to do. But I went ahead and created something on there, and I was thinking to organize if there's enough interest and if it seems like if there's a consensus for it to be desirable to try it out, experiment. I was thinking to do a regular room every week for More Equal Animals and try to get some buzz going around the book itself, and maybe that could drum up some interest in Eden. But I don't know, maybe others want to chime in on here. I'm not sure the pool of people that we're looking for are hanging out on Clubhouse, but I could be wrong about that.
You know, we did one talk on Clubhouse already. It was pretty interesting, crypto related
In
conversation.
the Libertarian Club or something like that?
I'm trying to remember who organized it. I kind of jumped in. at
Mark,
the last
Mark did.
Was it Mark, you did it. Yeah, so that was cool. I'm actually trying to find you a group right now. What's it called?
Joshua Seymour.
It's just called Eden.
Oh, okay, because I just followed you.
Yeah, I'm on Clubhouse. I'm Joshua Seymour, but the club is called Eden. Yeah, if you join it, I'll add you as a member, and I can give anybody who wants or administrative privileges or anything like that.
And I've never been on that. Like, is it different than this? Is it essentially just a platform to host Zoom calls, or am I missing something?
It's kind of like a 2021 version of teleconferencing with a little bit of social media, element to it. Like, you can't private message people on it. You can find links to people's Instagram and Twitters, and they can put links in their bios, but those links aren't clickable. And it's just basically like a room is open. There's no video, and if you're allowed to talk as a moderator or someone on stage, you can talk. I don't know. You kind of have to experience it, but there's a lot of there might be some niche groups going on there, but there's a lot of kind of Bitcoin maximalism and some pretty, the behavior patterns on there are maybe not the best in some cases. I can send you an invite if you want to check it out, Chris.
Yeah, please. I'd check it out.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds cool.
Yeah, we might as well have a presence there. It seems like it's not going anywhere. And yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with it too. I've hardly done anything there. But occasionally if somebody has a good thing they want to talk about that isn't just like super random, and I don't know, a lot of the conversations seem really innocuous there. So I just kind of like pass, but.
And the idea of doing the book is really cool, because maybe what you could do is break it into chunks, like just cover one chapter. And then that way you can sort of encourage people to tease through it, and then almost like a book club or something. Does that sound?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm kind of thinking, and would love any more feedback or suggestions anyone has. And if anyone wants to collaborate, be willing to do that. I think I'll wait and see what the interest level is before I make a commitment, because I would want to do a time that works for other people if others wanted to get involved.
I think it's a great idea, dude. And you should put up maybe throw up a post, forum on the community.eoscommunity.org. Throw up a forum post and just ask for people to comment on if they're interested in times they'd like to see it or whatever. I think it's a cool idea. I'd certainly participate. I haven't, I mean, I've listened to the book and just started to read it, so it would probably encourage me to read it faster.
Yeah, yeah. I've even thought about doing a book club where we just read the book, like chapter by chapter, because really it's not that big of a book, and you know, you could stop and talk. I mean, you could take a couple days to even go through a chapter if you really wanted to, and just think about the concepts in it, or you could blaze through it really fast and like talk later, you know. But yeah, totally interested.
Be better you reading it than me. You have a nice cadence where I could follow along. I would kick into speed reading, talking, and then it'd be impossible. So I think your voice is good.
Yeah, thanks
I've
for
been wanting to,
for
like-
the feedback, guys.
I've been wanting to outline that book geometrically somehow. I was thinking about putting it like maybe the table of contents or something, just a bunch of post-it notes, some reasonable size, you know, board, and kind of see it, because you know, Dan's kind of referencing, you know, oh, that's the moral hazard. Oh, that's the randomness piece. Oh, that's the hierarchical side. Oh, this is the relationship to token price. He doesn't speak to that, but I would have these avenues for all the major points that obviously everybody's talking about. You know, how does this work? So
That so desperately needs to be made. That's a thing I also want to work on. So if you want any collaboration on that, yeah, we need to distill the book down into its essence, essentially, so that it's more of a universal set of ideas that would, you know, be intelligible to anyone from any walk of life. A lot of the context and analogies that Dan brings to the book make it really good, but they also make it like a huge thing to sink your teeth into. Whereas we could, yeah, you could boil moral hazard down to like one simple parable if you wanted to, you know, instead of a whole bunch of stuff.
yeah, thanks, Brandon. I really appreciate that. Kind of being aware of how you're feeling on that one. That helps me out. So yeah, I'm sure we'll touch base on that one, because yeah, I looked at how many pages I could print out, and it'd be under a 10 by 10 wall, you know, but and those kind of things tend to not be that effective for myself personally to learn. They just end up being these monuments, but they're helpful. But
well, back to the conversation earlier that I think Randall was kind of bringing up, which was, yeah, this is Eden on EOS, but ultimately we're cooking up Eden, which, you know, we're beta testing Eden, really, the process, and applying it on EOS. But eventually, yeah, these ideas need to be abstracted in a way that is just completely universal and doesn't even have any attachment to like really any identity of any kind. Because it's really like, that's part of what appeals to me so much about this, is it's a process without an agenda. It's an agendaless process. The only agenda is to achieve consensus and facilitate coordinated action. There's beyond that, there's nothing, which is so key for what we need today in our super polarized world. It's like you could take people that disagree on everything and be like, use the process, like come to your own conclusions, you know, like we'd be a much better world in that way.
Yeah, it's really empowering the individual to start to actually think about what they want.
Yeah.
think about their own needs, right?
When it
Go ahead,
comes to the process, I'm absolutely with you guys. I understand that, you know, consensus building is the key, because when you read about game theories, you know that one thing that humans were not able to do is to be able to coordinate and work together. So anytime when we can work together, we are a lot more powerful, right? So I agree with that, but I think through it and I'm going, okay, actually, Chris, your voice was in my head when I was thinking, when you were like, hey, you know what, we have $1,000. What can we be able to achieve right now, right? So I'm going, okay, we have a process. What can we use the process to achieve right now, which can be more effective? And for people to know that this process actually do work. So let's say if eventually Eden OS is going to be used, the English version is going to be used to, let's say, govern, let's say, quote unquote, Wax or Telos or whatever, we can be able to do that, right? So that's what I think about, and that's what I'm thinking about. In that we don't want to create another EOS, right? Quote unquote EOS without, I would say, like a structure, because I feel like that's what happened to EOS. EOS was created, one of the most powerful systems ever, better than all the other blockchains, but then it was just there, and we didn't know what to do. And Dan left, and everyone is just doing whatever. The block producers are gaming the system. So I'm like, okay, Dan is building something that's so powerful. How can we really make this do what it's supposed to do, get traction, and let it work? And I see a lot of people asking questions. Okay, I'm paying money into something. I'm paying money into something, into membership. And then this money that I'm paying, maybe it's too much. Some people are saying, well, it's not too much. And people are debating that, right? So how can we come to a consensus where we know that, hey, this membership is actually going to allow you to govern the blockchain that you love the most, which is EOS. Because if you have to go and govern Ethereum, trust me, I'm out of here, right? Because Ethereum doesn't scale. But because we are going to govern EOS, which is the blockchain that I love so much, based on what I know about it and what it can do, right? And the fact that I hold a lot, and the fact that I'm working with other developers, and we are trying to, as we speak, designing the system with it, right? You know that it's going to be rewarded if we have good governance and you are able to do something with it. It helps everyone who holds it, everyone who loves it so dearly. So sometimes when, we get to the point where we are thinking, okay, Eden is there. We can use it for Cardano. We can use it for this. We can use it for that. I'm like, okay, I get that. But I want to hear we can use it for EOS. I want to hear that a lot, because majority of us, right? Dan is using the community that we are EOS community members, and Dan is using that community that he built to do this. I think about this all the time. Brandon Bloomer used the community to build Block.one. He built Voice, whatever, I don't know what they are doing now. Then Bullish.com, which we are waiting for it to launch. But it's the community, because you always need community. So we, the community, we've been used to build Eden OS. I mean, I'm not a member yet, but I still love EOS regardless, right? And whoever that is going to patrol EOS, who is part of the Eden community, is fine with me, because I know that everyone loves the community. That's why they are doing this. So if we give these representatives, right, Chris, Brandon, Mark, and Josh, right, and Patrick, I think, right? If we're able to get these community members funding projects, that's the main goal. The goal is we reach consensus, whether you are a mathematician, you are English professor, sorry, you are a developer. It doesn't matter what you are or who you are, as long as you can fund the project and do the right things for the community, we are all rooting for you, right? And in essence, you are going to help EOS, and EOS is going to get to where it's supposed to get, and people will get to know it, and the currency is going to be valuable, right? As long as we can do that, then Eden OS has succeeded. Now, if Cardano wants to use Eden OS to do whatever, we don't care. They can do whatever they want, right? But I feel like the process is so beautiful. But if we are not careful, the process is not going to have something realistic that he's doing. And then people are going to be complaining, oh, but I'm paying membership, I'm running elections, I'm doing this. But what Dan is trying to do is so valuable, because I can see it, right? I can tell his frustration, but he's not able to tell people. Like, his frustration is in there, because how beautiful it is to be elected to be able to use millions of dollars to change the world by building products, independent tools that will control a community. It's so beautiful. So if you have to even pay $1,000, it doesn't matter, right? But not everyone can do that. But the people who pay $1,000 are the people who are supposed to be making decisions and the choices, not the one who pays $0. But then again, we have to have that narrative. We have to reach out to the people and let people know that, hey, listen, even though you don't have $1,000 or $100 or whatever to be able to be part of Eden, you can reach out to an Eden member, tell them what you want. Let's all talk in the community. Tell us what you want to do. Let's reach consensus. And then now it goes to Eden, and Eden members are going to now look for what we have to do and do it. And that's what I've been processing and thinking through over and over, that we have to really have a good narrative and we have to move forward so that we can be practical.
Go ahead, Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm totally hearing what you say, Randall, Roland. That's very interesting to see the point of view of the people at this stage now on Eden. We are still in early stage. We are 60 members, I think, something like that, as was done in the call today, in the voice chat. I have heard that, listened to Dan. He said something at the beginning today. He said the reason why we should forget a moment about the words, what is Eden OS, what is Eden, forget the words, just understand what could be the benefit. So I speak for me, maybe that will sound good, maybe not. I say what I think. For me, the most important at this stage, it's to see the intent of the people that you invite, because you can invite, you have the right to invite 10 people when you are inducted. So now I am inducted, I can invite 10 people, fantastic. So I have to choose the people that I want to invite. And I am focused on the technology and also on the education. And sometimes there are people that want to do something totally different. So, but if the intent at the end is correct, I will invite these people because they deserve to go, because they want to give something to the community. And the more the process will go on, and more we will see the play layout. Now we are at the very beginning. It's a little bit maybe will be pretentious to know already all how it will plays out. The only thing that I know, it's we have to be in a group of 10 people and see the synergy between those people and focus in this group and choose the best representative of this group to go to the next level. And about the money and the time. Some people ask me these last days, how many time I need to invest if I go with Eden? And I answered, if you want to go with Eden, you don't need to think about the time that you will invest. Because if you think about the time that you will invest, you will never do something. And you will just wait that all Eden is finished. And after that, you come and you say, okay, now Eden is finished. Wow. Or maybe, no, that will be wow for sure. We will say wow. Like EOS now, we say wow. But there are some people that were not so, I would say, invested. They just are here to check, and come someone's later to say, okay, that those the dots are connecting or the dots are not connecting. And for the moment, the dots are connecting very well. Shout out to Dan, and shout out also to Brendan, because we see always Brendan is with Block One, Dan is with Eden. But indeed, there are synergy between Dan And Brendan at a point, Brendan said that he see from a good eye what is happening with Eden. He said that it's good for EOS. And bullish, we don't know exactly what it is, but that will use EOS as an audit trail. That's good. So all is going to EOS at the end, and that's benefit to EOS. So that's benefit to us, that's benefit to the community. So I think if we go in Eden, it's because we believe that we can change the things. Otherwise, we will never do something, and we can just wait that other people do, and us, we don't do. So we have to do something. We don't know how it will play out totally, but I am very confident that that will good play out because we have good representative now with Chris, Brandon, it's clear, and all the people that are here, Mark here, all, and Joshua, and Roland, Randall, if you want to join, that would be perfect. If you have an idea what you want to do, that could be anything, but that has to be very inclusive for the EOS community, you know. Myself, for example, I am an entrepreneur. I have my own company startup. And why I am in Eden indeed? Because I want to deliver something for the EOS community. That should be and I invest my time and I invest myself because I love what I do. So the first thing, you have to love what you do, and you have to know also why you do. So if you know why you are doing the things, after that you are in peace with yourself. You know exactly, okay, I have a reason to do to do the things that I do. After that you are totally quiet, but it's personal. It's also a choice, and there are no stress. We don't need to say today, okay, I want to go in Eden. For myself, that's take 1 month to decide that I want to go with Eden and to testify my intent, because I am someone that I want to say what I do. And after that, in general, I do what I have said. Otherwise, I cannot sleep. And for other people, it's not maybe not the case. There are people that say, I will do something, and after that, maybe they do nothing. But anyway, that's not a judgment. So Randall, you don't have to think about the how many time you will spend. You will do your best, and you don't have to think also about how it will play out totally. You see in Venezuela, there is Maurice Vanegas. He's doing EOS Microloan, EOS Marketplace. I was interviewing him. I will have you one more time. He's a good guy. He's an entrepreneur. He do something for his country. That could be Africa. That could be Australia. Any part of the world. Switzerland also. We have the bank, but one day maybe there are no more banks, and the Switzerland guys will be totally disappointed. So they will need an EOS Marketplace. So that's worldwide. It's not about a country. I am in Switzerland. I am in a good country. Okay, in a bull. I am in a bull. Canada is, yeah, it's okay. There are many countries, and we have to be no borders. No borders. You see the map, Eden, the world, the image of Eden. There is no borders. There is only EOS, and for this reason that we are in EOS, because we believe that there is no more borders. I am not Antonopoulos telling there is no borders. When Antonopoulos say there is no borders, that's not the same meaning that when we say in EOS, everyone open society. So that's exactly that. So, but okay, I stop here. No.
Very good, Patrick.
I will invite you, Randan, if you decide, if you give me a reason.
Cool. And you know, one thing you mentioned, Randall, about not really work, like if Ethereum was doing Eden, and you know, too bad for, like, they can do whatever they want. The key to think, what I think will happen if my vision comes true, is that all of our vision essentially is probably the same, where Eden works so well on EOS that we solve governance on EOS. We implement this, the intent of code, ability to arbitrate by trusted individuals, and EOS price goes up, right? Like, I think the sentiment is turning around. People are getting engaged. People are joining and communicating more than we ever have before. And through this open dialogue and continued communication, we're going to get to better results. And the price is going to be reflected in the price. And then the other blockchains, they're going to do it on their own. They're going to, what do these guys do? What is this Eden thing? What's, and they're going to just, I mean, because it's the book. Go ahead, buy the book, read it, and go ahead, take it away. It has nothing to do with us. We don't have to spend any time on other blockchains. I think they're going to recognize the value and the power of what this process has done to EOS, and want to do it for themselves.
You know, we have in Switzerland, we have the Ethereum Foundation in Zug. We have Cardano Foundation in Zug. We have Bitcoin Foundation in Zug. All is in Zug, all is in Switzerland, is in this place. It's very scary. I was meeting this different when I was in Zug for EOS, because I was explaining to some startups what is the EOS.io protocol. And I was thinking that I was in a no man's land when I was coming to explain about that. And yeah.
Patrick, what is the word you're saying in Zug?
Zug. It's a place in Switzerland.
Oh, okay.
And it is the heart of the crypto valley. You know, Switzerland, okay. We are the best. We are the best. Switzerland, we are the best. That was always like that. You know, I am born in Switzerland, but I don't feel me myself a citizen of Switzerland. I am a citizen of the world. So, and when I was going into the crypto valley in 2018, 2019 to preach about EOS, EOS.io protocol, smart contract platform, 360-degree vision, all that, sometimes I had the impression that I was an extraterrestrial or an alien, because I was going there and preaching to people that are only interested about Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin, Cardano, Charles Hoskinson with the eagle on the shoulder. So that was totally, for me, sometimes a little bit complicated. And now that I am no more in that, and I'm doing online and totally cross-border, I feel me myself. Because before, that was like I was playing a role, like if I was playing someone that I am not. I was myself, but not totally. And I was explaining there, thinking maybe that I am explaining something for nothing, because they have no interest at all. You know, you have the Davos Forum. The Davos Forum, each year in Davos, you have Ethereum there, you have Cardano there, you have Bitcoin there. They are going there for what? For the money. And they are only interested about the money. They have no other value. And for me, that's very interesting. In EOS, we have the economical, societal, technological. This is the only blockchain that addresses the 3 layers. This is for this reason that we will win. Not because we have to win, but because we deserve to win. And this is not about the money. And I have convinced, I am not a guy that wants to convince the people, but I have some guys that were convinced about Ethereum, about Bitcoin, maximalist. And when I was telling them that you can do something with Bitcoin on EOS, with rapid Bitcoin on EOS, or Ethereum, rapid Ethereum on EOS, there were, eureka moment, because they were no thinking that EOS is a multi-chain ecosystem. And for them, there is only the Ethereum blockchain, there is only the Bitcoin blockchain. They have no clue that it is a multi-chain ecosystem with multi-wallet. I love Anchor Wallet now, but there are a bunch of wallets into the EOS ecosystem. And when you speak with guys like that, you can speak 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, how many hours you want. They are totally focused on their ID. And I think Eden, the Eden community, will serve a very good EOS, will serve, as you said, Roland, maybe other chain into the EOS ecosystem like Telos. into the EOSIO ecosystem like Telos or Wax maybe. But if you think about Cardano or about Ethereum, I think they are already in their flight, and they will continue. That would be very difficult to convince them. When you see Charles, that would be very difficult to convince him that he has to go with true democracy, fractal democracy like Eden. So, yeah.
Yeah, I doubt. Charles strikes me as the kind of guy who probably enjoys being in charge. So, not sure he'd buy this. Hey, Neurotag, I noticed you joined. And just so you know, if you want to speak, you're welcome to. Just turn on your video and join the conversation. Same with I'm assuming it's Crypto Apologist. Feel free, fellas. Or not.
Yeah. So Patrick, what is your Telegram name? Is it CC32D9?
I am not the guy CC do D239.
Oh.
I am not a robot, sorry.
Oh.
No, I am Patrick Nova Crypto. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I know him. It's a good guy. Yeah. Very technologic guy. Very technologist. Yeah. I meet him. Yeah. Very, very sympathetic and very technologist. Yeah.
Cool. Because I talked to him, but I've never seen him. So.
Yeah, I talked to him and I met him one time. He has a good technologic skill about block production, about smart contract programming, about all this stuff.
And POS, blockchain authenticity is very good. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of people that are in the community very well versed into the EOSIO smart contract programming. So yeah, it is one of them. Yeah, very, very knowledgeable. Yeah.
Cool. So Chris, what do you think?
I was actually, thinking lots, but I love this. This is cool. I'm glad it's actually just a few of us because it's maybe a little easier and we just get to kind of chat. I'm curious, what do you guys think? So the next mock election's in July 17th. It's a Saturday. It'll be probably more people because the word is getting out. So it'll be definitely a little more competitive, which would be quite interesting. Any predictions or thoughts on what kind of projects?
Your prediction is way over 64 people. Your prediction?
I think if we got 64 people to join the first one who hadn't heard of this, after all of the press and all the people are hearing about it now, I'm sure we'll have way more than 64 on the next trial one in a month.
Yeah, I agree. I'm thinking 128. Why not double? But we already have like 50 people in Eden already.
There could be 200. I think we'll push 200 people in the next trial
I
because
wouldn't be
it doesn't need to be. I mean, I'm going on the odd podcast when I get a chance and or YouTube show, and I'm telling people about it. So hopefully,
what will be the date? What will be the date?
It's July 17th, Saturday, July 17th.
July 17th, Saturday. Okay.
2 p.m.
And you think there will be 100 people, maybe 100 people? Yeah.
Just my guess. I hope we have 200. I'd like to see like a real big showing to really test how complicated it's going to get with a huge group. 150. So no, here's my question though. Not how many. What kind of projects do you guys think will make it to the end this time? Right? We didn't see this first round. People didn't quite know what they were going to do, and there was a lot of we're just here. I think for the next one, people will come into it with a little more deliberate intention to win some funding. And if anything, it may just be practice for the big round when they need big money, right? This will be still, I think, 2,000 EOS is this one, plus it'll be 1 EOS per person for entrance this time to make sure people sign up and then show up. So maybe we get 100 people, so there'll be 2,100 EOS. Any thoughts? What do you guys think will make it to the top this time?
Chris.
Huh? What'd you say?
No. It's a joke.
I don't know. I think we're learning. I think we're learning a lot. And I think we've been made aware of like a basic set of priority projects. So we've notched that up. So I don't think we're going to be as kind of deer in the headlights and just say, we're going to give the money away to the community crowdfunding piece,
Yeah.
or to the John Boyd who proves, or to the EOS marketplace.
Yeah.
It'll crystallize a little bit.
Yeah, I think my 2 cents. I think when you saw the, sorry for my English, when you saw the first round with Chris, with John Boyd, why John win and Chris was elected also, it's because that's give something to the EOS.io ecosystem, also to the EOS mainnet, the power up, it's totally empowering the EOS mainnet. We need that for onboarding more users. We need good resource management. So power up is very nice. And now, if I have to make my 2 cents, the people that the guys that will be elected, that's the guys that will give something for the onboarding. And to onboard onto the EOS ecosystem, you can go through education, and you can also go through development. And if you have a good combination of the both, that could be interesting. I was reading what you are doing, Mark, with your proposal onto eoscommunity.org. I have read. That's very, very interesting. There is also Mel with he want to collaborate with Maurice Vanegas, so EOS Marketplace, all these things. That's very interesting also. Yeah, there are a lot of projects very interesting. It's difficult at this point to say who will deserve. There are a lot of people that deserve, indeed.
Yeah,
We can share the pot. We can share the pot, maybe.
I think what's going to happen is the person who can build consensus better, like Chris, you did, because I was watching.
Yeah, Chris, fantastic. Yeah.
The projects are there. There are so many good projects.
Oh, yeah.
But what I think is going to happen is the guy who can be able to promote EOS better, who can be able to build consensus better, is going to basically win. And once they win, they will decide which project they are going to use the funds for, just like what you did, because you were the perfect.
I didn't do that though. In fact, I gave people trouble for
He
that.
will never say that he do that, but he
No.
That's what you did. Because
But I had a project that I was deliberately pitching. Right, I gave in the final round when Mike was describing what he was going to do, and he wanted to do something with education, but he wasn't sure how, and he was going to do a poll, and I kind of quizzed him on that a bit. So like, you're going to sit with the money and not really have a plan? Like, I don't know if that's a good idea. So like, I think you need to have, if you want my vote, you need to have like an actual plan. I want to know what you're going to do with the money, not just hold it and wait to see what everybody says. I mean, that should have happened in advance of the playoff. So you found out what everybody said, had an answer, and brought that to the playoff. The other thing that's interesting is how much is it even worth? So EOS was worth a little more at the last one, and it was about 10 grand, and it's just dropped about 10% since we've been talking. Oh no. So it's now 2000 EOS is still going to be about 10 grand. So the price is about the same. So that's the other question, right? What can you even do? Like, that was the other challenge. Like, what John was trying to propose to increase the EOS power up was within the realm of $10,000 could pay for it. But now we're going to get to where, I mean, is it enough to even do anything? And then if you start splitting the pot, are we going to, because there's talk, maybe we'll have a prize for Satoshi, and then the board actually gets some money too. So we'll have a little less for the winner and more, but now we're talking very small amounts. So I think we have to be mindful of, you know, what are you going to do with it that's actually going to be meaningful? Because it gets hard to do anything of value if it's so little.
Yeah, but Chris, I think you have a list of projects, right? So I think maybe what we can possibly do is we go through that project, right, and see which ones are great and which ones are going to help with onboarding people, and also making the user experience a little bit better, right, for EOS. So I think once we look at that, we can be able to decide if the amount of money is enough for us to be able to actually do something with one of those projects, I think.
Yeah, but indeed, Roland, you can already go on eoscommunity.org,
Community, yeah. Yeah.
and you read the different proposals,
Yes.
and there is drill sergeant Zeus that was doing a good compilation of projects that he see interesting, or so he do a compilation of that.
So my thing is this, and this is what I was trying to get. I was trying to give Chris credit here. So some people think that you have to be a developer and you have to be doing something to be able to win the money, right? But it's not necessarily true. Because you can see a project that is not your project, but because you can build consensus, you can be like, hey guys, I understand what you are saying. I understand what you are saying. I understand what you are saying. But I think if we do this right now, which is not my project, but if we do it right now and we use the money for this specific thing, it will help all of us.
Exactly.
And
I have in my guest that I will invite in a couple of days, two of them, or one of them at least, is one to onboard into Eden, because he has a real plan, not about coding, not about education. He just wants to choose the best representative to go forward, because he has a good I would say it's also intuition, and but it's has not to be only intuition. That's also to be based on the facts. So on the budget, how you will use the budget if you have the funds, how you will spend those funds. Yes. And if you have a project, you have to think about that. If you have no project and you just want to go into Eden because you want to elect the best people, that's a good intent. That's a very good intent also. So it's not about coding. It's a spectrum. So, and I was thinking, now that you speak, Roland, something very interesting. We have the chance to be in Eden. You know why? Because we can market ourselves, do marketing ourselves. Because you have people into the EOS ecosystem, EOS.io ecosystem, EOS.io ecosystem, telling when marketing, when that. They are always asking for the date.
Or moon.
Yeah, the dates. That's the problem of the human. He want to know when the things will come. And my answer to that is always the same. There is no date. And it is good there is no date, because we are in software engineering. And there is a roadmap, there is a manifesto. And if you are connecting the dot, now we are June 2021. If you are connecting the dots 1 year before until now, you see that the dots are connecting very well, and that the manifesto was doing its job very well. So what does it mean? That means that EOS is reliable, resilient.
Yeah, reliable.
Resilient, because when something goes not as expected, you continue the road. And it's a lot of liquidity there. It's difficult to hack. We have a hack, but that will continue. It's impossible that we will never have a hack. That's normal. That's software engineering. We can do error. But Eden can solve that also, can be a very good tool to help the block producer to take the good to take the good decision. And Eden is multifaceted, is multi possibility. And to come back to the marketing, we are in a phase we want to have more users, into non-EOS user in EOS, not only the guy from day one. We want also other users. So marketing, we don't have to expect that Block One do marketing or that someone else do marketing. We have to do that ourselves. But there are people that don't like to do marketing. I can understand, but we can do a good push for EOS. When I say push, not aggressive, a push, correct push. We want the good. We want to do the good, and we will do. No doubt about that.
What about you, Lovejoy? What do you think's going to win?
Well, on Patrick's point there, I mean, I think marketing is a huge component, and it sounds like a dirty word, but if you think about it more like outreach and education, like has been said before, and then you think about the different markets around the world, many of which it's a much lower cost to reach a greater number of people, where it would be even more impact felt with the resources that we have at our disposal. It kind of looks to me like we should direct the lion's share of funding in some way to projects that'll have a disproportionate impact on the global communities that need it the most. And yeah, I think whoever can, I mean, you know, right out of the gate, it's going to be hard to escape the gravitas of and the importance of purely funding like really killer, awesome projects like GrayMass. Like they could use a whole team of engineers thrown at them and solve many problems of onboarding that we have, and they understand the problems of onboarding better than anybody.
Oh yeah,
pretty much. So, you know, initially maybe it's going to be a very pragmatic sort of outcome. And I think the other factor going into with, you know, as the pot begins to increase, reputation is going to play a huger factor. So maybe not so much for the mock election. People are still willing to like be a little more experimental, but as we move into the actual election, it's going to be a huge deciding factor. Kind of interesting.
GrayMass deserve funds to continue their job at a technical level because they are doing well. And ESR library API, that's the standard. That could be the standard, because Scatter is no more maintenance. It's no more maintained. I have used sometimes, but there is a chance that there is a security lack, and with Encore, this is very, very secure, and they can do more than they can do a lot of things. It's clear. Yeah,
those guys went to work for UOS, I think, and doing amazing work over there. But yeah, Scatter's not supported. And I think the other thing that we should make sure, I don't know, like what's going to actually happen. I have no idea. It's going to be a very strange experience at that point. But I think the other thing that'd be really good to focus on is just something. I was talking about this with Chris earlier today. Something a little more. What's the word you use? Philanthropic. Like get like an immediate win that shows, like as a gesture of the spirit of the community, some application of funds purely, not even for the benefit of EOS, but just purely as a way of giving something to the world, and letting that itself be a kind of like a defining characteristic of the community that we're trying to build.
Collaborative ecosystems.
Yeah, like the
for example. Yeah. You know, I understand the point. We have to go beyond EOS only, and come with project that give something to the world, not only to us, to EOS. Yeah, I understand. Yeah,
I saw Vincent turned his camera on. If you want, feel free to jump in. And I realize, you know, if people like apologists you want to talk to, maybe after Vincent, you can keep your camera off. It's okay. I can relax the rules on our first open mic. You're on mute.
EOS apologists will never turn his camera on. It's normal.
He's a robot.
And I agree.
Hey everyone. Yeah, so I didn't plan on speaking today, but yeah, sure, I'll come in. So my name is Vincent Grenier. I'm a co-founder of EOS Nation. I'm probably the most bullish on EOS, EOS Nation co-founder. So I have lots of ideas for Eden, for EOS, and I'd love to share them with all of you. I plan on participating. I'm not sure yet in the elections of Eden, maybe in the first round, we'll see. But yeah, I have lots of ideas that I'd like to share, and I think the community needs to work as a community and not as a big business. I think we need to focus on marketing, but in different ways. I have so many ideas, and so one thing that I wanted to share that I've been doing for the past year and a half is reaching out to students, reaching out to universities. So I've been reaching out to about 4 universities. I have worked with 3 groups of, let's say, 5 to 7 developers to build prototypes on EOS. And I think things like that should be promoted by EOS ambassadors and EOS like Eden ambassadors at some point. I think it's a good way to build open source development on EOS, and to bring new flesh, new people to EOS to start developing prototypes and try to push open source development. So people that don't have technical skills can partner with businesses or Eden to just have the technical skills available for AMAs, basically, in that people that are non-technical can reach out to universities, to their local cities if they wanted to build projects. So basically, we just need to reach out to businesses, universities to get project proposals, basically, and then get some devs to just build prototypes, and then the community can grab what was built and continue building on that. So I think we need to focus on open source development and bringing new developers to the community, and encouraging open source.
Hey, Vincent.
Yep.
Hey, I think it's really cool. You got a bunch of good ideas. I have a list of projects of maybe 40 items. And if you ever wanted to put those kind of out there, get in touch, and I'll just add them to that list. We're going to compile it, because I'd love to have that on there and serve as a resource, because right now everything's very unclear, and that's a comprehensive list of exactly what we're talking about, so we can fund it right out the gate, hopefully in August.
Yeah, exactly. I think like what's happening now in the world, it's like the next industrial revolution is starting, and I think that the first phase is happening now. It's like open public blockchains are popping up everywhere, dApps are popping up, but I think the next step is like, it's not necessarily having thousands of dApps on a protocol. It's having like one open source platform with all of these services just baked in. Once you have, let's say, a EOS token, you get access to all these services for free if you stake or whatever. So it's basically, the next step is like having this platform of services for the community. And then I think what we need to do to get there is, as a community, let's say Eden, work together to understand what are the requirements, what are all these ideas, and what is like the future vision of what this needs to look like. And then having all your ideas, my ideas, and the community's ideas in a big pool of ideas, structured in a very good way. And then basically it's all project proposals. And then people in the community could just go and propose to university students, hey, here's a list of projects you could work on. And then you just pitch that to the students, and then we get more students, more groups building applications that can hop on this open source EOS community platform. So I think that's like my vision of EOS. It's basically like a ticket to this service platform, because we have the base protocol, we have like the best layer, and the best blockchain layer. So we have like the performance, we have the low cost, and then we have the benefits of EOS that the other DPoS blockchains don't have, is like the 1-year ICO, the super high, lowest market cap of 500 million, is super decentralized compared to other EOS.io chains. It has all the advantages. So now we have this good layer that is necessary to build this future vision. So I think we need to focus on this future vision, bringing people together that are tired of this system that we use currently. So we just need to bring people together with ideas and orchestrate this future vision of like one big platform for the community, all open source, all pretty much free, and then continue building upon that for EOS and all the community. I think that's the future I'd like to see, like EOS being a ticket to this platform of service, basically.
Indeed,
Really cool that you go
we have that since 2020. We have the EOS.io protocol going well. We have the APIs diffuse. We have all the technology already since 2020. And there are a lot of entrepreneurs. There are a lot of companies like Ray from GenerOS. He has created his platform and he used the open source tool that we have already. So it's up to it's up to the tech guys to create their platform by using the EOS.io smart contract platform into their platform. So that's there is, but I think Eden for OS, Eden on OS, sorry, Eden on EOS. That's the logo. I think as we said, we don't need to be a developer to be in that. We don't need to have a business to be in that. So it's only oriented for the business. I would say it's like to go with Google Cloud Platform and using EOS.io on Google Cloud Platform that Block One is doing. So business for businesses, there is blockchain as a service. There is the offer of Block.one and Eden on OS. It's beyond that. It's beyond that. It's up to each one to create his platform. Indeed, I would say.
I like that you're going after the university students, Vincent. I think that's really smart because you get these young, bright people in the infancy of their career, and they teach them about, especially EOS, right, before they get sucked into some other blockchain. It's like, no, focus your energy and talent here and see what that turns into as they enter the workforce.
Yeah.
I totally agree. That's a great approach. I've long advocated for going into the universities. I think there's actually kind of an anti-university bias in the DPoS space, inherited from just like a philosophical mistrust of like more orthodox kind of world that the universities represent. But the students are, open books, relatively speaking, and it's such a people are there to learn, and people are there to like build and develop and play and experiment. And so, totally a great space. Would you imagine doing hackathons, or potentially supporting like hackathons then for at different universities?
Yeah, well, EOS Nation, we have been sponsoring lots of events in the past few years, like more than 100 events. We sponsored some hackathons. We haven't done our own hackathons though yet. It's something that we could consider. It's just that it's a lot of time. Usually we sponsor these events more than take care of it ourselves for big hackathons. But for sure, I think we want to push more events. And now that COVID is stopping, I will probably start doing a few meetups here and there. Maybe try to participate in some events of that sort. But and just to
it's
get
what
back,
the EOS Nation ambassador do in EOS Nation. We are doing since 2018, including myself. I am not the only one. We are 12 EOS Nation ambassadors. And we have made since the beginning meetups. All of the ambassadors, we have made meetups sponsored by EOS Nation a long time. After that, maybe to be honest, maybe less. That's comprehensive. Myself, I don't do that to be paid. I do all the meetups that I have done and all the workshops that I have done until now. I have not be paid. I don't do that for that. It's depend of the people. They have people they want to be paid, or they do that because they love what they do. To be honest, I have also a job besides, so that's help. EOS Nation was a great help to the educational mindset, because we have to understand what is EOS.io, EOS, since 2018 to be with EOS Nation. That was fantastic, and that will continue. This is not because now we have Eden on EOS that the ambassadors in EOS Nation will not continue. I speak for myself. I will continue to collaborate, it's clear. So we are all ambassadors indeed into this Eden.
Yep.
And as I said, not to say, as I said, I want to say education and development. If there is a good combination between the both, and with a clear budget, how the funds will be used, what you want to do, you want to go until the first level, the second level, the third level. For example, myself, I want to go only to the first level. I know exactly how I will use the funds for the next year. I want not to go more than the first level, because what I want to deliver not justify more than the first level. And I think, Chris, you correct me if I am wrong, that's a question. Eden, we are paying we are donate 10 EOS to the membership, and that's a one time, or we have to renew that at each
election.
Each election, voilà.
Yeah, each election will require
Voilà.
members to pay another 10
Yeah,
euros.
that makes sense. You have to testify your intent at each election. That's nice.
And they shouldn't be that frequent. I think one of the confusions, and I was confused on this as well, is that it was mentioned like it could be every month, but the likelihood is super low. That's just the most frequent it possibly could be, because you need to give 30 days notice before an election, but it very likely won't be that frequent. Hey, so Apologist, I see you're on. Just if I can give Apologist a shot here, because I know he mentioned he was going to speak without the camera. Do you want a chance to say anything?
This thing on?
Yep, we can hear you.
Hey guys, I'm a crypto apologist, and when I used to be known as EOS apologist. I'm not here necessarily to participate so much as I'm here just sort of to research and give my sort of vote of confidence in the new direction EOS is going. I've always seen it as a sort of a governance as the potential killer application of blockchain if we were ever to get it right, because realistically, if we get governance right, everything else falls. So what EOS is doing in particular is a lot bigger than I think most people will actually, realize, and they probably won't realize it, quite frankly, until like a couple of years down the road. But we're really up on doing some groundbreaking stuff here, guys. And I just wanted to just sort of give my 2 cents on the what Patrick said earlier, in particular about the focus on marketing. I know that's maybe the dirty word that everyone doesn't really like to do, because, marketing essentially, and no one likes to market themselves. And trust me, as a content creator and an introvert as well and whatnot, which I really do not like, I don't want the attention, but marketing is so incredibly important. If you're going to reach the little guy, everyone, in fact, when the big guys are not even interested in your project until you've reached the little guy, in fact, and the most powerful form of marketing is always going to be word of mouth. And so EOS Eden, or, Eden.io on the EOS platform can go a long way into sort of being sort of a incubator of that sort of word of mouth process. When you have essentially more community members and when I directly incentivize or when I to essentially be sort of de facto promoters of the EOS platform, I think that in itself and when I will go a long way in something that not a whole lot of blockchains technically have as of yet. That's just my 2 cents. I'm gonna shut up and get back to lilicensing. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Great, thanks for jumping in.
Great 2 cents. Very. You could buy a lot with those 2 cents.
Thank you, EOS apologist. Thank you.
That was great.
I have to say something to EOS apologist because he is now on this show. That's just fantastic. Because when I was in 2018 opening my Telegram channel, EOS Swiss Valley, we are only 50 members. And today we are 50 members. I have no problem with that. That will evolve. And I was inviting EOS apologists in my Telegram channel without thinking that he will be still today with us. Because when we were beginning 2021, I was in 2020 already, October, something like that. He was not very active. And I was thinking, okay, he will go on other roads. And he is back again. So that's just incredible. And we don't see his face, but I like the robot. That's just perfect.
Hey, one thing real quick. Yeah, Apologist is great. Super appreciative. Everyone here is world-class. This is a really great group of people. Yeah, just one quick note on the marketing thing is just like, if we view it more as like just reaching out to people. And one of my favorite phrases I've picked up over the last couple of years is from reading Rethinking Money by Bernard Lettier, who is a former central banker that kind of defected and wrote books about complementary currencies, covers Switzerland quite extensively. But he frames the whole thing about currency as connecting unused resources with unmet needs, you know, and that's all that you're doing with complementary and cooperative currencies is there's unused resources and unmet needs, like connect them, you know. And if we can effectively do that, like that's the best marketing ever. And it kind of dovetails with the word of mouth thing that Apologist was talking about. But I've spoken enough, and Chris is the only one I believe that hasn't shared his opinion about his own question so far.
I get the perks of not having to answer, being the moderator.
But I thought you could dodge it, but
I don't even know. I was just trying to think of something to get the conversation going. It worked. But yes. I want to hop off here though. I've been sitting in this seat for like many hours. I did an interview with Dub Digital, and then I jumped on to a fireside thing with Dan, and then I went straight to this. So it's been back to back to back. So
hey, Chris, do you mind handing me the host? I just wanted to ask a question to these guys real quick.
I will certainly try.
Basically,
yeah, make host. Oh yeah, okay, cool. You're the host.
I think if you go away, I think we'll stay. I don't know for a second.
I don't know what happened to the recording. It stopped recording. So maybe Dominic will get it. I don't know.
Oh, you could probably restart it. But
whatever. Anyway, that's cool. Good. So you're the host now, Mark. You can keep it running. I don't mind at all. I just need to. It's getting dark. My swimming pool's open. I need to go close it before this thunderstorm rolls in.
It's incredible. In Switzerland, it's 2 a.m. 2 a.m.
Parting words of wisdom, Chris. Anything?
I think that I don't think the winning project question. Honestly, I really don't know. I think it'll be hard to come up with something that is an easy of a quick win, is what I was able to, like that project was just there ready to happen. So I think hopefully that there's something simple that can. Apologist. But other than that, it's good chatting, everybody. Like, it's awesome getting to know everyone more, and I'm pumped that we'll just keep doing these. So why not? It'd be like a hangout, even if it's the same crew, whatever. We'll try to get more people though. We'll try to spread it. We didn't really tell anybody out until last minute sort of today. So we'll try to spread the word and get more folks to come. So, okay, guys, it's been awesome. We'll talk again.
Later, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
And I'm going to have to dip out like in 10 minutes or so, guys. Just fair warning.
Yeah, same here in a little bit.
That was great. Perfect. No, I think, Mark, I saw some project into eoscommunity.org that have fast the same idea. They have some projects that have some points that are, that we can say, synergic. So I think there will be maybe 2 projects that will be merging together, or maybe 3, we don't know. Many projects that we maybe do like a wedding and win the competition, because
it's interesting. I didn't think about that. We've been thinking about how to prioritize. Okay, basically, how do you speak to the last half hour, the question of, who's going to win or what is it going to look like? And the multiplier, you just described a multiplier basically. So let's say I want something that is absolutely, Chris said it best a minute ago. It's absolutely a win.
Tangible.
He used the word quick win. So if you have a quick win,
A quick win, yeah.
that is multiplicative. So let's say I had a quick win that was a significant quick win for 4 different projects.
Yeah.
I think that's what you were saying, and I never thought about that until you said that. So what I wanted to be clear about was that's a new idea for me that you just introduced. I've got the list of 40 projects. I'd like it to be 80, and I'd like to go through it and know exactly what I want to build or what I want to support.
Yeah.
And I want it to be the way Chris said, a quick win. But I want it to be multiplicative the way you just said. And there's a couple others, about 6 or 7 characteristics of that project that I want it to be fit under the sort of kind of category of it. Checks this box, checks this box.
A checklist, a matrix, a checklist.
And then that will be the platform. I say, look, this is what I want to spend the money on and how. And and it makes everybody go, yes, that's perfect. In other words, the pitch is actually a good idea enough to bring in the parts and organize it and take a lot of pressure off of the voters and all the holders that are hoping that these good things come. So my question to you guys a minute ago was going to be related to something that was very distinct, a feature of a product, just as a very end result. I would like my neighbor to be able to scan a credit card. I don't know, somehow go from their economic paradigm.
Yeah.
And I would like them to buy a handful of my herbs because I have a need, as Brandon said. So what we're doing is we're going to vector in and multiply that way. For example, I have a need that I would like to be met. So Brandon has said the principal and the microphone's on. I think it's you, apologist. So Brandon's got a need. I want it met. The need is I have a surplus of my 100 plants. I have like all these amazing herbs. I have basil that just grows, massive amounts of basil so I want my neighbor to be able to somehow, they just click on my EOS marketplace. And then I already proved it out between my wallets. EOS marketplace is great. Okay.
Yeah, I was on. Now I am delisted because I have not contributed a lot for the moment, but it's normal. Yeah.
So we got to make it so that you're kind of as cool as Crystal in the marketing or the training or teaching, because I want to go to somebody who's cold on crypto. I want them to go with their credit card to a handful of herbs as if it was, liquid, liquid and simple.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I think we should all, sorry, I say we should all, why I say that. I think we should consider to go on EOS Marketplace and create a spot to deliver our service, and only list one service, not 2, 3, 4, just one service.
Chives, Patrick, chives. You know what chives are? That's
Sorry.
it. One plant is on my
Oh,
thing.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Maurice Vanegas,
If I can get some chives into someone's hand and get $3, I'm going to be like,
Maurice Vanegas was when I was doing
Brandon, go.
Yeah, when I was doing the interview with Maurice Vanegas for the workshop, he told me, Patrick, you have to create your spot on the map, and you have to list only one service that you believe, that you know that it is you.
Hold that thought. Brandon, you were saying?
Well, I just wanted to invert everything that you guys are saying in a creative way and say, rather than having somebody take money from a credit card and buy your product, why not, this might sound controversial at first, use some portion of inflation to reward the person with the chives. Basically, like, imagine if you want to get all the trash picked up in the neighborhood. There's kids hanging out, they don't not doing anything. And there's grandmothers that are complaining about the trash. Well, give the grandmothers the money and let them tell the neighborhood kids, like, you pick up the trash, we'll give you the money. In the same way, you can use inflation to like bring a currency into existence through leveraging that unmet need with that unused resource. In this case, the resource is backed by inflation. So we're just, it's kind of like the way Steemit uses a percentage of the reward pool to incentivize online behavior. You could use inflation to create like a starting point, an entrance into the community. So no one even has to take their credit card out of their pocket. Somebody offers something or someone else needs, and we create, there's different vectors where the community decides where they want to like put in the resource. And that's the point at which the community is seeding the economy in that area. And they do so through perhaps inflation or self-funding.
There was a proposal from Eve.
I have to ask, can that be done on EOS Marketplace through quote of all these micro debts?
Yeah, micro debt, yeah.
Brandon, was there a platform to be able to account for this inflation particle as it accumulates?
Yeah, it's EOS Microloan.
Yeah, EOS, I mean.
No, sorry, Brandon, there is EOS Microloan, there is EOS Marketplace. And EOS Microloan behave like you said.
Oh, does it, the microloan?
Yeah.
It's a community funded pool of like resource that can be directed.
And you have the MLT, so the microloan token. You use MLT to be listed on the map. You have to pay 5 MLT. If you don't pay 5 MLT each month, you are delisted off the map. Myself, I was on the map on April 23rd. And I have said to Maurice, I will do a trial for 2 months. And I was not very active. And now I am delisted. I have received some emails telling me, Patrick, you are not so active. You will be delisted. So it's a good incentive to be on the map. You have to pay a 5 MLT and you have to answer to the question when someone comes to you and ask you something about EOS.io, you have to answer them, not just tell I will be on the map. And something very interesting, I don't know if maybe that could be, how did you say that, ambiguous or cautious. Yves Larose was telling something very interesting in the last mock-up, in the last trial on Eden. He was telling to John, if you are going to the next level, you could use some of your funds to go into the matching pool of the crowdfunding platform developed by EOS Nation and EOS Asia in the matching funds. And some people I don't understand exactly what does it mean. Some people thinking maybe this money will be used maybe to support EOS Nation, but indeed that was not that. That was to put some of your fund that you will receive into matching funds of the crowdfunding platform, because you can also receive money from the crowdfunding platform to do your project. Mark, for example, if you don't receive funds from Eden to do your project, you can also do your project on the crowdfunding platform of EOS, developed by EOS Nation.
Yeah, and I think the inflation.
It's not
that Brandon
incompatible. It's
spoke
not
about
incompatible.
Was exactly the way that the MLT token on EOS
Mhm.
Marketplace is minted, but it is only tied to if there is an EOS payment.
Voila. Yeah. Exactly.
Well, we're getting there. We're getting there at least, and it's also a debt tracker.
Yeah,
that I can
exactly,
pay offline
exactly.
manually and just hold the debt, but there's no inflation if you do it that way.
But Brandon, the proposal with the inflation is interesting. What you say, micro debt, Mark, it's interesting. And to for example, if you are winning the election and you receive the funds, you can use a part of these funds to fuel the matching funds or whatever pot that you think that will be beneficial for the community, because you can be in Eden and not at the same time, but in parallel, maybe you can be also in another system, crowdfunding platform, or yeah. I don't know. For the moment, it's very difficult to see how it will play out. I speak for me.
Well,
Vincent wanted to say something, I think.
Yeah, so I just think that what the EOS Marketplace is doing is exactly what EOS needs. I think EOS needs an open source platform where everyone can post what they want to sell, what they want to buy, what service they offer, and at what price. And I think that should be based on the EOS token. So that should be like the base layer for EOS. Like this community platform I think about is based on the map. So basically it's like everything, you need to see everyone on the map. So basically people would need to own the digital land of their property, their commercial property, so that when people are standing on that property, they see what's for sale there. What does this property owner wants me to see when I'm standing in his shop, basically. So if you're at McDonald's, you would want to be able to order your favorite meal, basically. So it's in your favorites. If you're in the corner store, well, maybe you can scan the objects in the corner store with your EOS app and then pay him directly to his EOS account, so he doesn't have to pay a payment provider fee of 2%. So basically have a people platform based on EOS where everything is open source. We just need, let's say, Eden community to work together with developers to fund this initiative, open source initiative and base layer. And then the community could go and find groups of students and other people to build open source development on this. And then the full-time developers of Eden could then piggyback on this open source development that was made by students, and then just improve that and then make it viable for the community. I think that's like where we need to go, basically, is providing more value to token holders, providing more services, providing more utility with your tokens. So it's not just a currency. It's like the base layer for trust, so that when we do exchanges, when you want to sell your herbs, well, there's already someone there being able to see it on the marketplace and buy it from you. And the thing you said, where you want to give a reward, let's say, to someone in the community. Well, if it's map-based, everyone can just walk around with the app open and say, hey, here's some trash. I send $1 to the bounty to someone to pick it up. And then everyone in my local community will see that. And then people might not pick it up. And then people will say, okay, I'll pitch another $1. And at some point, with the donations of the community, someone can, okay, I'll pick it up. And here is the pictures before. Here is the pictures after. Does everyone agree to release those funds from the smart contract? Yes, poof, I get the rewards because I did the job. So always adding services on a public.
They work already like that in Venezuela. They work already like that in Colombia. I was in Colombia for family reason.
So I think
and I am back now, and I am in Eden. That's just fantastic. I was experiencing something very harsh in Colombia. I was in Colombia a couple of weeks with my wife for family reason, and I am back and I am in Eden. And I do my EOS IO Swiss workshop number 9, June 23rd. And I was in Colombia, and I have not the chance to go in Venezuela because it is totally neighbor, that is just the border. And they use EOS each and every day. It's a real utility, real value. EOS is a real utility, real value. And on the map, you can have a shop, you can have real estate, you are doing real estate, or you are doing matching, you are doing what you want on the map. You can do all the service.
That's good. I've seen it. Vince, finish your thought.
Yeah, so I just think, just to finish, so I just think this is what the community needs, an open platform based on the EOS token. So we don't want, like, we can put the governance with Eden, but something that is based on EOS, the fees are in EOS. So I think that's what the community needs. We need to, and I think what Microloan is doing is awesome. EOS Marketplace is awesome. I just think—
And Dan Larimer would shed for that.
Yeah.
Dan Larimer was already stating that Maurice Vanegas is doing exactly what should be as EOS should be used in some way.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I think like a platform like this with Dan Larimer's expertise, technical expertise, to assure, let's say that private messages are private, to assure all the technical, backend is sound for people. I think that is the best combination. Basically, a good backend for the people, designed for the people, and then having the platform where we can all communicate, can all transact almost zero marginal cost. That's what we need to remove intermediaries. I find it funny when people say, "Oh well, Bitcoin we can use for payments. PayPal accepts Bitcoin." Yeah, but that's not the goal. Right now, when there's a business, a retail store, whatever, let's say they make 10% net margin at the end of the year. If you remove 2% fees on all transactions, his profits go from 10% to 12%. That's like a 20% increase. So we want to keep that 20% in the hands of the people. So if we can use EOS base layer and then just add services, remove all intermediaries in most transactions, and simplify these processes for people, I think that's what we need. That's what blockchain was made for. And I think EOS is the best layer for that.
3 years ago, there was Stellar Lumens, Stellar XLM by IBM. And they were stating that they will do microtransaction for Africa and for other countries with Stellar. Now we have EOS, and we can do microtransaction with EOS. So that's
So I think EOS Amsterdam actually is building the point of, like a point of sale system. He actually has it. He has it going. It's on the GitHub. I spoke to him about it. So basically, I think that what Vincent is saying, what we are saying is, we have to really have EOS being used for daily transactions, and we are working on it. It's something that I'm very, very interested in. Mark, I'm very, very interested in, like you are interested in, because I feel like if we can build something like Amazon, eBay, like where people can be able to start their store and then payment can be done, like a credit card being used, that would be excellent.
Randall, do you remember the Lynx wallet?
Yeah, Lynx wallet, yes.
Yeah, I believe I bought CUSD on the Lynx wallet or EOS directly on the Lynx wallet, one or the other. Man, we need that because then I can get them a one-stop shop of a wallet, a private key, write that down, put your credit card. Now you got $20. Please give me $3 for the chives. Awesome. I'll see you whenever you want some rosemary, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we can be able to do all of this. And I think Vincent brings a good point. With Clarion, I think what Dan's vision is to be able to eventually have like a big platform where you can send private messages. You can be able to basically log in with your private key and be able to do transactions, everything at the same place. and then we can run domains, right? Because he was saying that he can host one of the domains, other people can host domains, and pretty much make this happen, right? But the thing is, it's a matter of, you know, us doing it, right? And also for us to be able to do it, we need Eden, right? So the whole system is like different arms that we have to bring it together. And I think we are doing it. You know, it's going to take a little bit of time.
Yeah, the beauty is the organization, machine. We call it a consensus machine, but it's more like an organization machine.
Mhm.
It's going to be great. Anyway, Brandon, are you taking off, or you get something else you wanted to say?
Thoughts are percolating in my mind, but I enjoy it. Well, I was gonna say that what Vincent is describing in my head turns into augmented reality, like on a map, where you have location-based, yeah. Like you could almost do geotagging. I'm a big fan of like treasure hunts and stuff, and I think making this fun too could be like a really interesting angle. You know, you can leave private keys laying around all over the place if you want to. So you know, there's like other ways to like lure people into the space, curious people, the people that are more likely to be early adopters. And yeah, and I think like back to my initial point of inflation is like, I think it's an effective tool if you want to jumpstart like think of it as like a circuit where you want to create like a cascade of a currency changing hands, so you can like, you know, maybe Vincent and EOS Nation don't have time to organize hackathons. We'll pay college students in EOS to run the hackathon. Let them pay the people that they need to help run the hackathon in EOS. Let those people then find another use, you know, for the EOS on third level deep. Try to make as many levels deep as you can where the EOS has to change hands in a local community, and then you create this cascade, and you just like open a circuit, and then the value starts flowing in and of itself in its own. It's like you prime the system.
So Brandon, I agree with you. You are absolutely right, 100%. Right, and that's what we are trying to do. The only thing is, you need people that can be able to basically, I would say, monitor to make sure that no one is gaming the system. Right, the money is going to the right people, and people are using the funds like they're supposed to. Because if technically, you know, block producers are able to give the money to Eden, or maybe match it, right? Then inflation has started pretty much, and that inflation is basically is going to be used to fund for projects and also help out with giving these funds to, let's say, students or people in the neighborhood that they want to do something, which sometimes is not even related to EOS, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's just good deed, right?
Totally.
You see someone saving the planet and you are like, okay, this is a good thing. I'm gonna bring it up to EOS community, and then we can be able to fund to, you know, do something like that. And I think inflation, some of the money that the community is getting, the Eden community is getting, can be used towards that. So I think overall, we have a great plan. The thing is, Eden has to really be formed so that when the money comes in, we can be able to channel that inflation money to these projects. You know, I mean, I think probably
there are many pots. There are many pots. There are many pots.
Yeah.
There are the matching funds for a crowdfunding platform. There is the inflation. There is many tools.
Yeah.
But we speak about money now, how we will distribute the rewards. But the first thing is to as always, we have to speak now to go with a good value proposal. Mark Sher, you were stating something very interesting. This matrix checklist table. I think on eoscommunity.org, that could be very value added if we have, when we have sufficient proposals, that we have like a kind of table where we have some some a skill matrix or something like that, where you want to know what are the projects that are based on real estate, or what are the projects that are based on student university, or what are the projects that are based on workshops, or any kind of question that you can ask, and you find the matching project that are answering to the skills when you are checking the table. Because there are a lot of websites where you can write, let's say you want to create an application for ABC, and you write the word A, B, C, and you find the project that is matching with your need. So that's a kind of a tool, yeah. But we don't have that for the moment on eoscommunity.org because it is very the early stage. That's normal, but that could come. That could come.
Very good point, Patrick. I think there's a need to have a good view of the ecosystem. So what are the dApps? What are all the teams working on? And are they working on the same initiatives? Can they collaborate? What is all the open source development? What are the open source smart contracts that people can use? I think that is very good.
A kind of mind map. A kind of mind map, because I am doing mind map on my side. With Vincent, we were creating something in 2019 with Triad, and now with Eden, maybe we have the chance to create something useful for the community with the mind mapping. Because the mind mapping, it's a very powerful tool. If it is used as it should be, that could be a very nice tool indeed.
Yeah. And just to get back on my thought about the open source platform, what I find would be very nice is, let's say, having let's say Dan Larimer at some point focus on and Eden focus on like the base layer of this platform, and then having like a SDK or a backend toolkit to just say, hey, if you want to build an application on this platform that will be open source and everything with the students, here how you do it. Here is the backend technology that you should use so that you will integrate easily in this platform. And then the community can go ahead and find multiple groups, and then find cities that want to collaborate, find universities that want to collaborate, but at least have a good idea of, okay, what does our backend need to look like, and front end or whatever, so that it can integrate easily with this platform. So that's one thing that would be, I think, very important. So basically having a common vision of a future platform, and then having the SDK or the technical aspect laid out by the technical team, and then having the community of non-developers basically search for groups of students and developers and hackathons and whatever to build on this open source development platform and service platform. Yeah, so that was it. And just to piggyback on the students idea, some people don't like students because, let's say, they don't have as much technical knowledge. The project will take a lot of time. So oftentimes people don't like to work with universities because of that. But I think we need to consider the indirect impact of this project. So let's say the student that you're having a project with, he will have a job afterwards, and then he will talk about EOS, and then maybe that company will build a dApp on EOS. So we should never underestimate students. We can look at the project EVA co-op that is built on EOS, EOS.io technology in Montreal. So it's like a Uber competitor that has been super successful. It was built by 2 students still at school, and now it's a real business with lots of success in Montreal, and they're growing, and they're based on EOS.io, and they were just students. So I think, pushing that and pushing groups of people to build open source stuff on EOS that uses the EOS token for utility and fees. I think that's what we need to focus on as Eden.
I like that you keep coming back to open source as kind of like a.
That's the future. Like that's it's like the next step in the next industrial revolution. So people will continue doing closed source, and then they will keep getting like the higher fee with their application. But no matter it's coming, like platforms like EOS, Ethereum, they will build that open source code and they will implement it, and they will remove the fees, and eventually users will go there. So that's the end goal.
Dan Larimer, he has written a nice article. He has written, I will maybe share that again. He has written an article some weeks ago, 1 month maybe. What does it mean exactly, decentralization, with the guy, Crocodile Dundee, with the knife. And he was stating something very interesting. He say you can have a centralized server that is proposing your service, and from the server until your user, you are distributed, you are decentralized. So it's a mix, and open source for all, it's not always possible. Sometimes you need to have, sorry to say, but sometimes for mission critical app, you can have open source. Sometimes you have to be very, for security reason, you cannot open source all, but you just have to open source the piece of software that can be. That's not to be totally open source. It's clear.
As much as possible.
Yeah, as much as possible. Yeah, as you said, but you have to define very well, because sometimes,
That's why we need experts like you, Patrick, with the platforms and the development. Your expertise.
Yeah, I will be honest with you. As I was always.
Yes.
I have my own customer. I do my job with my own customer. And Eden, my goal, it's not for the business. Eden, I want to deliver mindweb.io. It's already existing. You can go on the web, you search for mindweb.io. You go on the web, you write that. I want to deliver mind mapping. Let the user contribute to upload their mind map. And when all the mind maps are linked together, you have collaborative ecosystems, and you have an NFT on EOS Atomic Hub. That's my project. And I do that for the EOS community. I don't do that for my customer, because my own customer, I can do my own platform, my own things. So the only thing that I want to do for the EOS community is the workshops, 6 workshops next year already planned, with every time 4 guests. And I do that because I love that. And if I am not elected with Eden, I continue to do that. That's clear. And mindweb.io, I will inject my love money in that.
Well, mindweb.io is on the short list of 40 projects, by the way, along with along with everything that I've been able to get my hands on. Where when I run across a project, I put it on that list. It's 40 items. I want it to be 80. I think it will be. Vincent, you probably know of 100. They're all over the place. I don't care, and I'm not in a rush. But it's like
For me, it's not a competition. But you know what? I am the only one, I think, until now into the member. Not to say but I have made a video of 2 minutes testifying my intent for EOS. And what I have said into this video is not to do marketing for myself. It's to testify what I will do. And I have already say I will do for Q3 2022, I will have mindweb.io available. So take that in mind. So that I am elected.
I'll update the piece to give that timeline. Thank you. So end of 2021, a minimum viable product, right?
Yeah, I have an MVP for mindweb.io. I know exactly at which date I will deliver, Q3 2022. And to do that, without the funds, I will do my best to do that. If I have the funds, it's clear I will do that better. But I don't do that for the business. I do that for the EOS community. For that, Brandon, Vincent, and Mark, you can upload your own mind map on your own interest with your mind map, your own mind map. And we merge this mind map together, and we have a knowledge base for EOS, EOS.io ecosystem. that's the project that Vincent and I we have in mind in 2018 in July. When Vincent was in Switzerland, visiting us here in Switzerland, I was doing bed and breakfast for Vincent.
Yes.
So he was going in Switzerland, he was visiting Switzerland, and we have in mind to do mind mapping with, I remember, with Annabella, with Jeff Daub, with all these people, and now these people, they are not with us. So anyway, we will continue. We will continue. So
I want to say, Patrick, good job, and I want to say shout out to you. We need more community members like you that are not afraid to speak their mind and to get involved and take action. You have been a very good EOS Nation ambassador and a very good EOS ambassador.
yeah, thank you.
throughout the years, and yeah, shout out to you. I really
Thank you.
appreciate
Maybe
everything.
Brandon, you will cut that on after the video, but I will say something now that maybe it's not good. In the EOS Nation Telegram, we cannot speak. We cannot speak the truth, because if you say something that is not exactly in the way that you should say, it is not politically correct. If you say that in the bullish Telegram, it's okay. So it's for that I am very bullish with the Telegram of Cheney Moore since 2021, this year, because now we are fast 2,000 members in bullish.
Yeah.
In a couple of months, and there we accept only the people that have a bullish sentiment, and they are saying something good for EOS and not for Cardano or other blockchain. And when you are in EOS Nation, sorry Mark, when you are in EOS Nation and you say something, you have to be very careful what you say, because if you say something that is not exactly in the good way, my post will be maybe deleted. So that's not like that should work. Normally, you should be able to express what you think, not non-violent, giraffe mode.
Mm-hmm.
You have to say what you think, and you need to have the balls, because if you cannot say the things with the balls, sometimes you have to say the things with the balls. You are not
giraffe balls.
Yeah, giraffe balls, okay, in a good way, with good intent.
Non-violent communication.
Yeah, with good intention. Always
Non-violent
about
communication.
Yeah.
There's always a way to tell the message in a way that it works for all parties. And yeah, non-violent communication. The conference that Dan Armour shared. It's very good. I think it's a must listen by everyone. Non-violent.
Yeah, I still haven't. I can't wait. It's on my list. It's kind of thing I gotta get.
We are not perfect. We are not perfect.
There's a good use for inflation. Free audio, NVC access to all Eden members. You know, like some sort of like NVC symposium or something.
Yeah, I log every day on this stuff. I am as I, you are as you are, and we have to be very not too much conventional or not too much. How did you say that? Complacency, because complacency sometimes is very, very bad. You cannot state what you think. And we have to state what we think. Otherwise, we will be a group of hypocrites. And I don't want to be a group of hypocrites.
Hey, Patrick, do you mind if I toss in a small, like, visible piece on this big win this week on a subject? It's pretty deep. It's like what you're talking about. But basically, I chatted on Telegram fluently across to the Spanish community, to the Korean community this week, and Max Cho and company in their inner circle, in their core group said, hey, you want to come into like a deeper core group of people to talk? And I said, yeah, and I go in there and we talk, and I'll be darned if out of that conversation, one of the fella captures it perfectly and says, man, Mark, I feel like I really hear your voice. and that was across languages. It's very strange. And
So what tool are you using for that? I
you're
saw
not gonna
you
believe it,
writing about
Brandon.
it.
You're not going to
What?
believe it.
Is it Amazon?
I'm going to tell you, it's this, okay? Right now it's restricted to Telegram, but you know, those are compartmented routines. You know, it's very programmable. So right now it's just restricted prove out to Telegram layer. But what it is it's a combination between two translation machines. One of them is the old machine, and it's very good, but it's very expensive. The other one is the new machine, which is just as good and is dirt cheap. So the old machine is simply Google Translate API. The new machine is a neural network trained by the people that are getting inflationary tokenized reward.
What?
Yes, listen to me. You're not going to believe it. They've trained, listen to this. They've trained German, French, and Russian. And I talk back and forth on French, no problem with the guy. That's already done. Listen to this. This group says, we're just looking for a blockchain. Right now, it's either NEO or EOS. Listen to this. And I said, hey, Han gets on and says, I've got an army of Korean trainers ready to go. I told the guy that because I spoke with him this week. I said, look, he goes, we're just waiting on funding. Whoever wants to fund us gets the shit on their chain, you know? I said, look, man, we're right there.
Wow.
The EOS translation portal basically is born through this. This is a big win. I sat there and I was like, God. So in other words, when I'm talking French, it's not costing them anything. But when I'm doing the Google, every once in a while, they come up and say, you want to pay another $5. That's after like 100,000 or 1 million characters that they translate. I pay $5 for another 100,000 or something like that.
Brandon.
I went into the EOS microloan and EOS marketplace communities, and I have everybody going, just raise the roof. You know, we're just talking like.
So you're just typing English, and then you select.
No. I'm pressing my my little microphone on my
Oh,
iOS.
you're doing voice to text.
I go, yes, I go bleep. Yeah, so comma, I'm thinking we're gonna da-da-da-da. And what's interesting about that period? Well, really what I'm saying is this period, and I press send, and they come back with all the texts in English after it being washed both ways. To them, they respond and it gets washed back into English. And I'm sitting here going, okay, I'm gonna rest. The job is done. Where do we go from here? Don't care.
That's amazing. That's like a Star Trek level universal translator. I knew that Google and Apple are both working on some sort of real-time translation in your ear, but I hadn't seen any actual
Good tool. Nice. Brandon, you are still recording?
Well, I don't think it's me.
I just want to tell you, cut all my
your EOS Nation rant?
all my not value-added things, okay? On EOS Nation, on Colombia, and I was Colombia. I was a little bit.
You're down.
Yeah, a little bit for a moment. Again, not in a good mode. So that will be not so interesting for the watchers. So you can cut that.
And I'm not recording, so I don't know
and
who's
for the discussion in
this.
EOS Nation, if Daniel Keys will hear that, he will fight me.
No more censorship. It's good, man.
Vincent know what I mean, because we have in a couple of days something.
Yeah,
I cannot unveil all. So that would be totally a shame if he hear that. No,
well,
I say as always, I say what I think. But I am not the only one to think that. That's the beauty of the things. That's I am not the only one to think that, but
Well, thank you, Patrick. I've heard it here first, so I'll keep an eye out for sure. It's nice.
The best form of obscurity you have from your words at this point is that we're 2 hours and 51 minutes into this conversation, and
it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
And nobody that
me
you
in
could
Switzerland.
offend would possibly listen this long to our wild ramblings when they could.
You know
just,
what I have
have
that you can record maybe or maybe not. What I have scare for Eden, my fear for Eden, it's that we have only people. Not you, Mark, not you, Brandon, not you, Vincent, it's clear, because you have good intent. But I have a fear that we have maybe in Eden some people that will be invited and they are just here to be in Eden. You know what I mean? Just to say, I am in Eden, I am very happy to be in Eden. And after that, they are doing fast nothing, or maybe, yeah, let's say nothing.
What's the cost to the community though? Really, like we get an additional 10 EOS. Somebody shows up.
No, it's not.
No, I'm just saying the cost to the community though, from like a game theory perspective, is like, yeah, some lackluster, status-seeking, lame, you know, gossipy, whatever shows up and pays 10 EOS and then goes to a few of these things. They're not going to be received super well. Probably they're not going to advance in the rounds. And then, you know,
or someone that say he will use the funds for doing the project, and after that he use the funds for doing other things. But that we cannot stop. Dan knows that already. Dan Larimer, he knows that maybe there are some people that will not. That's normal. That's normal.
The intent is to have most of the money invested where value is provided, so that the value of all EOS grows more than if we didn't print those EOS. Basically, that's the intent. Is to build more services, build more on EOS, so that the value goes up. So yeah, there will be some people not investing it properly or keeping too much for themselves.
Yeah, as always.
Yeah, as voters, we need to elect the people that have the good intent and the good vision for EOS and.
That exactly. Yeah, and when you see the world the way it's going now, what you can do, what else can you do to go into this Eden? Because if you see how the world is running now, we have maybe no other possibility to continue the road and to do all what we can to change something. But I am a Swiss guy in my bullish Telegram. He's in Basel in Switzerland. Basel. It's okay, and he's only interested about that. About the money, only that is interesting to him.
Well, those people are going to be weeded out immediately, because who wants to give up 10 EOS with no direct path for any sort of profit whatsoever? Like,
and he was asking to me, Patrick, how many members are we in Eden? And I say 50, something like that. Okay, so he's not. He thinks that it is a bullshit. And he thinks it is totally not value added. But I told him, if you do nothing and you try not to do something, we will never know if it works. So,
hey, look in my top left corner, I've got the word recording ... and it's red.
Yeah.
So apparently
that you can cut once again.
It's been there.
Cut anything out, Brandon. It sounds like you're right. Anybody who makes it to 3 hours deserves to hear that great.
Oh, I speak too much. You can cut all what I said.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I think I'm gonna.
On that note, maybe we should sign out. It's been 3 solid hours.
We are the fighter of EOS.
Patrick, it was very nice to meet you. Very nice to see you and hear you. And as well, Vincent, I know there's an EOS Nation and
EOS Nation, but a very nice one. Oh, sorry.
What a giveaway.
Yeah. No, I'm more in the back end.
Stéphane Bisson is perfect. Perfect, not perfect, but he's a good guy. No, all the guys in EOS Nation are nice, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, it
No,
looks like
I learn a lot. I learn a lot with all these guys, you know,
like-
and doing
looks
the
like
workshops
Newer
also.
Tag- Looks
Yeah.
like Neurotag is still kind of listening, and he chimed in on the chat. But if you're listening, Neurotag, I'm gonna take off. If y'all want to keep talking, I can hand a host a status to you, and
Yeah.
you're welcome. If not,
See
just
you guys
wait.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah, likewise, likewise. I'm
next
gonna
time.
go. All right. Yes.
Fairly
Thank
well,
you
guys.
so much.
Yes.
Thank you. Very nice to see you all.
Bye. Yeah, we are. Okay. Bon.
I think it's done. Yeah. I'll
Est-ce
have
que
to-
bon, ouais, okay.
are you-
Who is Neuertag? Neuertag said nothing. Who is Neuertag?
host, it's Mark Shearer.
Who is
Okay, so it looks
Neuertag?
like assign a new host. I can give it to Patrick. I can also give it to you, Vincent. I'll give it to Patrick. Looks like only one. So I'll give it to you. I'm not going to stop the recording. I assume if I leave, it'll ask me if I want to download it. I'm not really sure how that works.
No, that's work like that. When you quit, it begin to record. But I don't want to do that. Normally, it should be.
So if I give it to one of you, can one of you manage the recording?
Oh là là. Hmm.
I have to go anyways. Patrick.
Yeah, moi aussi. Hein.
It was nice to talk to you again, and
Ouais.
guys,
Bye.
Yes.
take care, guys.
Bye.